You're right, Helen. Hello, welcome back to the craft store. Look who's back in town.
Hello.
All right?
Yes, I'm really all right. Are you all right?
I'm very well, thank you. I love the glitter on your glasses today.
Thank you very much. Sparkly day, sparkly glittery glasses.
We've got the sparkly glitter. That's the end of that. Covered. Very excited about this 2-hour show. Not just to have you back in.
It was a weird opening.
You know, that's how I like to start the shows. No one watches at the very start.
Oh, yeah,
now they're coming in.
I've seen people say that. Hang on, let's wait for everyone to join.
Oh, you didn't say what classic people say.
Oh, what's that?
Just gonna wait for people to jump on.
Yeah.
Just jumping on, guys. That's what they say in the social media world, don't they? In the live world.
Yeah.
Just jumping on, guys. Hi, welcome to the craft store. Sweet Factory.
I know,
Love
exciting.
this company. Love this show. Let's talk about Sweet Factory first, and then we'll
Okay.
talk about the show. So introduce us, Helen.
Okay, so Sweet Factory is a brand that has been around for several years now. It's a family-run business in a place called Howden-le-Spring, which is just outside Sunderland.
Yeah. Represent.
As I say, it's a family-run business. Everybody's involved, and they are really sort of passionate about creating high-quality, high-usable, high-craftable products, and that's what they do with both their vinyl and their card. Now, I personally have used. I've been using a cutting machine for many years now, so I've tried a plethora of different vinyl,
yes.
And this one is one that really stands out for me. It's really usable. It's really and the thing is, it's so beautiful when it cuts. It's so beautiful, very easy to weed and then apply to lots of different materials. So you can put their self-adhesive vinyl onto glass, wood, paper, metals, plastic. There's loads of different things you can put it on. Slate, all different elements like that. And so that's what's wonderful, because you want to have a product that works across the board. You know, and that's what the self-adhesive vinyl does. But also, that's not the only thing they do. I know they're very well known for their vinyl, but also they create really unique, different types of card. Now, the thing when I say it's different is because also they have a wide range of weights. So they've got your standard ones of sort of like your 180, your 200, but then we're starting to move up to more like 300, 400 GSM. So think about like your heavier weights for making modelling and things like that. And so that's wonderful. And they have some quite unique colours that are going on as well. They even have like double-sided pearlescent, which is really nice.
Cool.
So yeah, lots of wonderful things to work with. And I think they've been around since 2020. And so they've been in the craft industry for not too long. They'd still be considered newbies, but everything they bring is quality. So that doesn't matter that they're new, because they're still wonderful.
That was comprehensive, wasn't it? There'll be a test at the end. Now then, we are very, very lucky because you've brought your scan and cut and a die cutting machine.
Yes,
so there'll be
I know.
lots of demonstrations through this 2-hour show. We'll explain it all for you about what we're doing demo-wise, but you shop direct, don't you? So the details on the screen. Sweet-factory.co.uk. Sweet-factory.co.uk is the website. There's a special code, Kirkham.
There is.
Tell us all about it.
So if you go onto the website that Dan has just said, you will see a section within that website that says the craft store with Dan and Helen, shop now. And if you click on that, it will take you to all the products that we have on the show today. And you can use the code TCS15, that's TCS15, to receive 15% off anything that we're showing you today on the show. So you can absolutely shop ahead. And just to let you know, it's there ready for you to look at now, but this will actually go on until Sunday, the 11th of June. So if you haven't had a chance to watch this live, no, May, thank you.
That's right.
What did I say? Sunday, the 11th of May.
Yeah.
May. It means that if you are not watching us live, you can still go and get involved if you want to, if it is before Sunday, the 11th of May.
So we are terribly excited about that. Thank you, Sweet Factory team, Bradley, etc., that you've given us TCS15.
Thanks, sweetie.
Thank you, sweetie. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Really, really excited about that. So if you're a card crafter, whether you want to do scrapbooking, maybe you're going to go into albums, and we're not die cutting necessarily, and we're not scanning cutting necessarily, just want the highest quality card stock, up to 450 GSM,
Amazing.
if that's what you need. So it's really what's best for you. We've got lots of different examples, but we're going to start off here at the top, at the start of the show, talking all things vinyl. And what you're seeing is just a selection of, right?
Yes, so you are getting multiples of colours, you are getting multiple sheets of as well. You are getting transfer tape in that, and that is what you use to move your vinyl from wherever you've cut it to the product that you're putting it on. Remember, you are going to get 34 colours, but that is going to be 100 sheets in your compilation box. You will also get a box to keep all of that in, so that, I just realised I was looking over here and you are over there, but it's fine because we're not on me, so that's okay. Sorry.
It's all right, Helen. It's been a little while, don't worry.
Bring it back.
It's how cameras work, but keep going. It's all right.
But what I was saying was that with the compilation, now what you want to have your vinyl in a box with like our Western box here, and the reason is you don't want to get it to dog-eared or anything like that, and having it stored safely, and that not only makes it portable, it keeps it protected.
So, hang on.
Okay.
Hang on now.
Gosh.
So you mentioned the transfer side of things, that's there.
Yes.
In front of me here, I'm seeing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 different packs in front of me here. But actually, there's 34 different colours.
Yes.
So there's so much more than meets the eye with what you're actually getting home.
Oh, absolutely. So what you're seeing here is just the packs that you get within the pack.
Okay.
But within those packs, you're also going to get multiple colours. So, for example, if you look at the Essentials pack, you're going to get white, you're going to get black, you're going to get gold, you're going to get silver. You look at the shades of red.
Like a Mika song. Yeah?
That
Did you
one.
see him on the piano last night?
No.
Oh, he's very good.
Anywho, you're also going to get things like the red collection, which will have your medium reds, your darker reds, your lighter ones. You're going to get blue, various different shades. You're also going to get something that's super unique. You're going to get greys as well. That's quite a unique colour, and you get different shades of that. But can I also say, because it's really important to tell you, and we haven't actually sort of touched on this yet,
Yeah.
this self-adhesive vinyl is actually a matte vinyl, and that makes it even more unique. This is not, matte vinyl is not something every vinyl company creates. It's not something they do. In fact, most people just use gloss. So having that matte vinyl not only gives you a very unique look on the projects you're working with, it gives you, I don't know, maybe a slightly more sophisticated look if I'm going to be a bit judgmental of our gloss. But remember, we do also sell gloss, and that works beautifully with the matte. But there's a little hidden feature that you can really only do with the matte vinyl that you can't do with the gloss, and especially the white matte.
Like what? What is that? Can you tell us now? Is it for later?
I can tell you. You can draw on it. So whatever electronic cutting machine you use, or even just a pen, you can absolutely. I've got a sample somewhere of. It says Noel on it. I think it's right in front of you. That,
we'll bring it around.
Yeah, this is white vinyl, and I've drawn on it with my scan and cut. I would give you recommendation, though, if you are going to do this, buy yourself a pack of permanent pens. Okay. Because anything other than permanent pens will obviously rub off.
Very, very cool. Right, we will get into it in much more detail, obviously. Now, that is £90, which already at £90, therefore 90p a sheet, is great value with 100 sheets.
Yeah, incredible.
But you, TCS...
15.
Yeah, 15. I was going to say TSC, and I should know the name of the channel we're on.
TSC.
TCS.
Yes.
Hey, here's a little inside scoop for you at the craft store.
Okay, love that.
So even though we're not in that set right now, where we were before with Planer, I still keep the plasmas on so I can remind myself the channel I'm on. Especially when it comes to codes, because I sometimes mixed up like TSC sometimes, so I can actually read it. So I'm looking at you, camera 5. Actually, camera 5, I'm looking straight past you at the plasma. TCS 15.
I find it very interesting that you struggle to remember it, because it's a store that sells craft.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, it speaks very
I know
much
I know the word.
itself.
It's just like, if I'm giving a code and I talk quite quick, I sometimes go TSC.
Right.
And I don't want to mislead.
No, it's TCS 15 to get 15% off the products that you see, including this gorgeous box. Can I also say, which I think is really exciting when you think about getting a promo code, there's something special. I mean, please correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm one of those people who it's like, this is the product you're getting, and it's a brilliant price, fantastic. And you go, okay, yeah. And they go, but do you want a promo code? And you're like, actually, yeah, I do. Less purchase. Yes, as soon as someone gives you a promo code, it could be 5%. I've used a 5% promo code before. But as soon as someone gives you a promo code, it makes you want to purchase it even more.
Because you're getting the best possible offer on something that you're interested in, because you're already shopping for it right now. So you're only getting that promo code thanks to Sweet Factory Kirkham being on the craft store.
Absolutely.
Which is brilliant. So TCS 15 is where you're going. That is for the top row, but as you see, you get 100 different sheets. I've written down there as well. It's everywhere. Right, we will get into using this in just a second, but also on the show, as you touched upon, we'll have a little scan around. Yeah. Beautiful packs of cardstocks on here. Prices from $4.99.
Yes.
Oh, and even on an item that's $4.99, I can still use TCS 15 and get 15% off that.
Absolutely, you can.
Look at these colours. And you were saying, Helen, some beautiful, usable colours.
Yeah, some really unique colours. I mean, particularly, I think the infrared violet that we've got, depending on kind of what light you look at that in, it kind of goes from purple to blues. You've got that gorgeous apple green, which is a metallic card, really stunning. I mean, I'll just show you that that metallic apple green here when it's embossed. Whew. It's so amazing. Not only does it die cut beautifully, it scores beautifully, it embosses beautifully. And that's the thing about the Sweet Factory cards that we're selling. You don't necessarily know straight away what you're going to create with, say, something that's like 400 plus GSM. But the thing is, as soon as you have that, you start to think what I'm going to craft with it. And that's how I felt when I got sent the kit. I was like, actually, what would I personally use this for? It's obviously a bit more like mount board, it's a bit thicker. But then I started thinking, do you know something I really enjoy that I've wanted to make, and maybe sometimes I can't find the card that's perfect for that, is the idea of making memory books with it. So I will show you that, because it's a really good, oh, thank you, that's a good idea. I'm standing here holding the one.
Well, no, that's okay.
Let's show some other things I've created.
We're a team. But like you say, like embossing beautifully, taking ink beautifully, actually making books beautifully. If you've got a scan and cut, for example, if you were watching the Clayness show earlier today, I hope that blue one doesn't fall off. It's all right. If you're doing large constructive pieces, then gosh, a higher GSM is so important. They're not all at 450, as you say. There's some 120 on there with that Botanic Green and things. So there's lots of different ones for you.
Look at the Botanic Green again.
Yeah.
It scores beautifully as well, even though it's much more of a paper weight. This one, actually, if we get the opportunity to show you, this is actually a cheat of a stepper card. Can you see that actually it's not technically a stepper card?
No, I don't. What? Oh, here.
Yeah, so it's two pieces of card stuck together. And the reason is because the one thing I always say when I do any shows, I'm a fairly lazy crafter and I don't like to follow a load of measurements. And stepper cards have been one of those...
Don't drag me down with your
but do you know, like, stepper cards is one of those cards that's always, like, eluded me. I try desperately to do it and I just never can. And then there was this cheat and I thought, hey, this is, like, the best way to make a stepper card, because it's a couple of scores, a couple of cuts, and it's really simple and easy. Super easy. I mean, and actually, this is another one on the other side. This is a bone. I mean, obviously, I haven't decorated it, but this is the bone china. And if you are thinking about doing different card shapes, like, for example, this one, or a little gift box, the bone china, which is sort of slightly, I don't know, slightly creamier white than the bone china, that's 240 GSM. So that is actually perfect for making your card shapes and things.
Is that a 9?
It is.
So for $9.99, you get 75. 75 sheets of 240 GSM bone china cardstock.
And that, to be fair,
75 sheets.
Can we also say, because I think it's important to note, because you were saying earlier, Dan, that some of these paper pad or card pads are only $4.99. To be honest, only the bone china one is not $4.99. Everything else is, and that's really important to note. But obviously, you're getting almost sort of triple the amount of card stock in that one than you are with the other packs. We've got 20 sheets, we've got 15 sheets, 10 sheets, and then, like Dan says, you've got 75 sheets with that bone china. But that is the only one that tips over the $4.99 price, which means, wow, that's incredible. Like, I don't even know if you got every single one of those packs, what that would add up to. Plus, you'd get that 15% off.
I can't do those maths.
No, neither
I'll
can
try.
I couldn't possibly, because I'd be like taking a load of pennies away.
40,
it would be really difficult.
50, £60.
What, even with the taking of the pennies away?
No.
No, exactly. So slightly under £60.
No. Right, everybody, now is your time. We're going to wander this way. Kirkham, I'll follow you around. Are we ready, Taz? Let's go for it. Dash, because you are shopping sweet-factory.co.uk. That is where you are shopping. And please, because you've watched the craft store and because you know, therefore you use the code TCS15 and you'll get 15% off the item that is £90 or the item that is $4.99. By the way, any questions about your scan and cut or die cutting, or particularly Sweet Factory, or Kirkham, what you've been up to on Facebook or YouTube, you can ask away. She might answer, she might not, but we can ask. What should we do?
So I thought...
Very quickly.
Oh, yes.
Love this.
Ah, thanks.
How cool is it? Is this the vinyl?
So that is the vinyl. So obviously, just to let you know, some of that is gloss and some of that is matte.
Yeah.
Because that was created when I do a lot of, I don't know if you've seen, but I do a lot of Instagram posts for the Sweet Factory, and I work with both their vinyl that is gloss and that is matte. So you will see that some of these projects around the room here, some of them have got gloss on, some of them have got matte. So you can see that, like the purple or the slightly violet-y one, things like that, is slightly more matte. But yeah, this, do you know, this took longer than it should have, cutting each of those strips to match your logo.
Yep.
So I sat individually and cut each of those strips with a pair of scissors to make sure that the widths and things were the same.
And I am going to see the copyright infringement here, Helen, and take you to the cleaners.
If you look right in the corner, it does say TM.
Oh,
so
fine.
I am protected. Teeny tiny, so almost invisible to the naked eye.
Not with my eye. Get your glasses on. Nevertheless, right, we are scan and cut. It's lovely to see you in front of a scanning cut.
Yes,
by
I
the
know
way.
it's great to be with the scanning cart. And if anyone missed the live that me and Dan did the other day to announce, you will have missed that this scanning cart was actually purchased for me by my mother. So I've had this SDX 1200 for many years, and she knew I wanted the Disney one, and she knew I was coming here, so she popped online and got it delivered to me.
Mum's good, by the way. Is she watching this, do you think?
I doubt it. She'll watch it after. She doesn't have Facebook, so she'll watch. Although it is on YouTube as well,
that's what I was
so she
wondering.
should have watched it. You could. When I was saying to you earlier about the fact that she hadn't watched the live until I showed to her, you should have said it was on YouTube.
The live wasn't on YouTube.
Ah, okay, fine. So that's why you didn't say
That's
it.
fine. Nevertheless, but she's fine.
She is fine.
Miss Kirkham is fine.
She's sewing at
the
the
window's
moment.
open a little bit. She's in the shade. She's got some water. She's good. Yeah? What are we going to do?
So I thought I would create. So obviously, as well as the products that you see on the collection for the craft store, there is other products available. Obviously, just to let you know, just to be completely transparent, obviously that 15% off doesn't work on any products that aren't on the show.
It's this stuff.
It's this stuff. But I will be using some products that are available on the website as well if you want extras and things.
You know what, I'm really excited about that, and that's what the craft store allows people to do, to go direct to and have a proper route around and see what Sweet Factory do.
I love that, a route around.
Proper route around. And open this page,
Get
see
in all
what's
the
going on there.
drawers.
Whoa, go full Bellamy on it. Whoa. In there. So yeah, you've got special prices and special combinations. That's what TCS 15 gives you on those items, of which on the website there's the logo. You see there, it says Helen and Dan on there. That's where you spy. But do have a look around. Whilst you're there, you never know, you might just find something else that you're after.
Perfect. So what I thought I would do is I would take a couple of the images that are stored within my scan and cut. Now, obviously, it's important to note I am using a scan and cut because it's my cutting machine of choice. But this vinyl will obviously cut with dies, it will cut with scissors, it will cut with a trimmer, it will cut with other cutting machines. So don't think that if you are not a scan and cutter, this takes you out of the equation. It absolutely doesn't. It will work, but obviously I'm going to be using this machine.
Yep.
So I'm going to select some of the patterns that are stored within the machine. So what we're going to do is, first of all, we are going to go, I'm going to go to this, and I'm going to find the word Mr. and Mrs. So let's go to that. This is all in alphabetical order as well, so I know I just need to go down to the M. So there's my Mr. and Mrs. I'm going to set that to my mat. I'm just going to move it down here. I'm going to go back to add. Now, I want to tell you, again, obviously this is more to your scanning cutters out there, but I don't want anyone to sort of not know what I'm doing. When you go to use your scan and cut and you want to weld shapes together to create a different shape, certain shapes will weld together, certain shapes will not. If you want to do what I am about to do, you need to select a particular shape. So if I went to patterns, I'm going to put this Mr. and Mrs. inside of a heart.
Nice.
If I had selected just a regular standard heart that's on the shape section, it wouldn't have worked. You need to have the centre already cut out. Otherwise, you'd weld them together and Mr. and Mrs. would just disappear.
This is why Kirkham's good with a scan and cut, isn't it? Because she uses it all the time and learns about this all the time.
Try all these different things.
I would say to you, by the way, do follow Helen Kirkham Crafts on the various socials, because you do a lot. If you're on Instagram, do follow Sweet Factory as well, because you post on there every day, right?
Every single day you will see these dainty little hands or a post about the beautiful things that Sweet Factory do. Not those hands,
Oh no,
these
that one pointing at me there. It's as aggressive as that, friends at home. That's what it's like on Instagram.
It's that aggressive. So as I said, if I'd picked just a regular heart, it wouldn't have worked. I need to go to this page and I need to select the heart with the hole. That sounds really horrible.
Okay.
But a frame is what it basically is. It just happens to be in the shape of a heart. Okay. I'm going to say okay, and I only want the heart. I don't want the bow, so I'm going to select A. Set it to my mat, and then we're going to have a little play. So right now, these are obviously completely different shapes and sizes. Okay, that's obvious. And what I want to do is get this inside of here. So I'm going to make my heart a little bit bigger.
Lots of people saying hello, by the way.
Oh, hello!
Just purely on Facebook alone. Jane says, hi, nice to see you both. Hi, Jane.
Hi.
Okay, Goodyear says, hi, Dan and Helen, lovely to see you both. Tracy Clark, hi, Dan.
Hello.
Hi, Helen.
Hello.
Lovely to see you both. Everyone says how lovely it is to see us both.
Oh, that's
Which
nice.
is very kind.
That's fair and sharing.
Yes, it is. Isabel's just joined in, has Elaine, Sarah, Kerry, Pauline, Jane, Carol Hill has just joined in. Yeah, Carol, I see you. Hello, Carol. That's just on Facebook. There's loads more on YouTube. Carry on.
Fabulous.
It's nice to say hi to people.
It's very nice to
Yes.
say. And so what I've done is I've shrunk the Mr. and Mrs. down ever so slightly, and I've made my heart frame ever so slightly bigger. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to make my heart frame a little bit smaller. Because what we want to do, we want to overlap so that we get my Mr. and Mrs. inside my heart. Okay, so that I'm happy with. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to say OK. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to select both of those elements like that. And I'm going to go to Object Edit. And I'm going to use this button here. Now this is a circle and a triangle stuck together. That is a welding shape. That means that you are welding those two shapes together. If I had gone to the welding of a heart, what would happen is that Mr. and Mrs. would just completely disappear because there's no center point. It doesn't know that there's a center point. It needs to keep the insert. It just thinks that you want to weld that whole shape together. It's almost like gluing two pieces together. Okay. So when I say weld, you will see that we can still see our Mr. and Mrs., okay? And now what we've got is one shape with Mr. and Mrs. in it, like so. Ta-da. But what I also want to do, because what's really fun when you're using vinyl is to do a bit of vinyl layering. Hashtag vinyl layering. And so what I'm going to do... Yes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this down in size ever so slightly because I want to be able to fit both pieces on my mat. This is both a vinyl and cards show, by the way. Everybody watching, if you were commenting before on mine and Helen's live and saying about how you love vinyl, you're in the right place at the right time. We've got a multi-pack of 34 different colours, 100 sheets of which for £90 plus 15% off. And I could do those maths, but I can't. Pardon? I can't do... What's 15% off 90? 50, I don't know. No, neither do I. I have no idea what 50. It's going to duck under £80 anyway, which is great. I don't know. Keep going. I can add it up. So you're going to work it out. But what we would have done is we would have created an outside edge, just like this one. But I've already done it, so I'm just going to add it to. So I'm going to go to patterns. I'm going to go retrieve data. I'm going to go saved in my machine, all the way down. Oh, there it was. Oh, I didn't save it. I apologise. I only saved the outside. Ah, you see what I did? No. No, I'll show you exactly what I did. No, I didn't save the outside edge. I just made sure that this was in the centre. So let's delete that one off. And just weld it together. Oh, did I just... £76.50. It'll be £76.50 rather than £90. What would be? Sorry, yeah, good point. Yeah, because I'm doing this and... The 100 sheets of vinyl is £90, which is a cracking price considering you're getting 100 sheets of self-adhesive vinyl in there. Plus, let's not forget your reusable transfer tape. With the TCS 15, it becomes £76.50. Perfect. So what I did, now as you saw, I deleted the wrong one. I deleted the original. So I welded it again together. Okay. And now what I've done is I've done an offset distance line of 10 inches, well, 0.1 of an inch. And now what I've got is an outside and an inside edge. Okay. So I can cut both of those. So I'm just going to take my trimmer and cut this down to size. So as you said, with self-adhesive vinyl, even though there is an adhesive element to it, yes, in your trimmers, in your guillotines, your scissors, your knives, your scanning cuts, your dies, absolutely, all you can fine. Use all of them. Marvelous. And that's the thing, that something that's really exciting is it means that, which I think is really cool, sometimes we get sentiments, really nice sentiments, but they, they're very thin. They're quite thin sentiments, and it can be quite tricky to sort of add the glue and things like that to them. But what's wonderful is... Sorry, what did I do with... You're laughing at me, Dan, because I've put my scraper... Oh, it's here. Not only did you pick it up and saw there was nothing in there, you still put your hand in. So hopefully... Scoop it out. Gone. OK, so what I'm saying... What was I saying? Don't know. Oh, yes. Wonderful about... So something that's wonderful is that obviously you can have a very thin piece of card and sometimes it's difficult to stick to the other piece of card because it's so thin you maybe squidge out. So actually start cutting your sentiments out of vinyl because the self-adhesive is already stuck on there. You don't have to worry about adding the glue and that will still stick to all your cards. I like sticking onto like glass or acetate or something like that. Vinyl side of things. Perfect for that. Right, so what I'm going to do, now this is really important, it's already set, but I want to explain it to you if you are thinking about cutting vinyl. The idea of self-adhesive vinyl is you want, the best and easy way to do it is to cut it in half cut or kiss cut, some people call. And what that means is it goes through the vinyl, but it doesn't go through the backing. And not only does that make it easier to sort of transport from one thing to another, it also makes it easier for you to weed. Okay. So I've already set my half cut on. If you've got a different cutting machine, you'll know how to do that. That's the one difference, I think, between cutting with a scan and cut and cutting with a die cutting machine. Because obviously when you cut with a die cutting machine, it will create what is like a sticker.
Yeah.
That's what it will create a sticker, which is fine. But that's why using a cutting machine is a little bit more easy. Doesn't mean it takes everything out, but it's a little bit more easy for you. Okay, so I'm going to start. And it's going to cut my vinyl for me. Now this is an SDX, this has an auto blade. So obviously setting it to auto means that I know that it's going to cut what I've asked it to cut without having to worry about changing anything.
That auto blade then, if we're thinking about, for example, some of the cardstock on the show, can it do, like, say, the lightest weight I can see there, 120, so cuts 120?
100%, no problem.
The heaviest weight I see on there is 450.
Right, so be aware, you can cut up to 3 millimetres thickness, but obviously certain things are a different density. So obviously 3 millimetre foam is going to be very different to 3 millimetre card.
Yes.
So I have cut everything but the aubergine on here, that much higher weight. It should be able to do it, and it probably will want to cut it multiple times, but that's the only one I haven't cut because it's quite a thick, dense material.
Would aubergine still go through my die cutting machine, for example?
Again, this is something that you probably aren't going to use in your die cutting machine. And if you were, you'd probably find that it would only be very simple shapes. So when you think, I mean, the thing is, again, it goes back to every product is not available in everything. So if I wanted to make, for example, that memory book out of the botanic paper, it's not going to hold up. So that's not what I would use that product for.
Yeah, I'm with you.
You know, so think about the idea of everything has a place. I wouldn't necessarily send the aubergine through my die cutting machine because that's a very thick card. If you were going to, maybe those bigger, thicker dies that you get.
Like the steel edge, like the Sizzix ones, a big saw, something like that.
Something like that. But I would personally be using your aubergine for sort of cutting with a trimmer. I've done it with a trimmer, it scores beautifully. And you'll see later in the show that I'm going to create a memory book using it because it's the perfect weight for that.
Now, all of these cardstocks and things, after this demonstration, I will wander back and I'll ping through all of the details. But the prices are basically $4.99. $4.99, and you're going to get 15% off that. As you can see on the screen, do use the code on those items, TCS15, and you get a further 15% off thanks to Sweet Factory. They're all grouped on the website, sweet-factory.co.uk. There's a section with the logo, Helen and Dan, click on there, you'll see them all there anyway, but that doesn't mean you can't go also shopping website-wise, see what else you might be after. Okie dokie.
Right, so this is another little note. Now, vinyl in itself is a thick material, as in like what you would necessarily expect. And we always talk about using something that's a slightly thicker material than, say, 180 GSM, using that on your heavier weight mat. But the important thing to note is that vinyl has a paper backing, so ultimately that makes it like a thinner material because you're thinking about the paper, not the vinyl. So when you use this, use it on a low-tack mat or an older purple mat. Okay? Right, then what we're going to do, right now, obviously, you can't see anything. Now, I would suggest when you're using this at home, cut it down to size or use a weeding box application on the scan and cut so you don't waste it. But obviously, I just cut it down because I want to just get on with it. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to peel this back. And you'll see there's our heart. See, what I'm saying is you've got all of that left.
There's a lot of vinyl there.
You don't want to waste all of that vinyl. So if you do accidentally peel it off when you didn't mean to, you can stick this back onto the paper backing. It would be fine. But just for speed, I'm taking that off. And then what you'll see, and I don't want to get my head in the way, but you will see that you've got the pieces to take off.
Oh, the little weeding things back.
I love a weeding tool and weeding box. So just go in there, you can see what you're doing, take all the pieces off.
Now, as we were saying with all things, there's that special offer of 100 of the A4 self-adhesive matte vinyl collection. We were spying, there is like a smaller option, isn't there? Like almost like a try-me, a bit like a small little compendium.
There is a smaller option. I think it was 10 sheets in there.
Yeah, I think so.
Yes.
So you have got lighter options for you price-wise. If you want to get the best value on the show, on the website, as far as vinyl goes, It's the 100 sheets, which come in the Western box, by the way. You do get that with it. It is the matte finish, meaning, as Helen was saying, with a permanent marker, you can draw onto it too. But I just want to really highlight the point. You get 100 sheets of 34 colours through 10 packs. So what you're seeing on our display is just an nth of what you're getting home. So all these different reds, different blues, different greys are in there.
And remember, you are also getting your transfer tape, which I will be using in a moment as well. And the transfer tape, now, when you are moving smaller things, like say this was the piece I was taking off, this tiny piece here. Now, obviously, I could move that myself.
Yep.
But I would always still recommend using the transfer tape because it just takes away the worry about trying to line it up. And I'm also going to show you a little trick. As I said, vinyl layering, that's what we're doing. I'm going to show you a super little trick for making, if you are anything like me, now people have probably heard this in the past, I don't see straight lines correctly.
Yep.
That's part of my eye issue. And so trying to line things up straight off the get, first time, and then it grabs and you've not lined it up properly and it's a nightmare and you think, oh no, it's all ruined, it's all done, I've wasted the whole vinyl. No, you haven't. Do this little trick and it will make it so much easier.
Now then, I just saw on Facebook, I saw Lizzie. I've seen your message, Lizzie.
Hi, Lizzie.
Lizzie says, hi, I can't get onto the website for Sweet Factory.
Oh.
Also, how do we pay for goods, please? Lizzie, you do it all, because I've just Googled, whilst I was reading that, just while Helen was weeding, I just Googled Sweet Factory Craft. And it took me straight there, Sweet Factory Craft. If you just search Sweet Factory, maybe it might take you to an actual Sweet Factory, I don't know. Sweet-factory.co.uk, I've just been on it, it's working absolutely fine, Lizzie. Just double check, that's the address. That's also where you pay. So if you're brand new to the craft store, you're not going to thecraftstore.com, I mean, you can, it tells you who's on and bits and bobs like that, which is cool. But really, you go to sweet-factory.co.uk, fill up your basket there and you shop through sweetfactory.co.uk, Lizzie. So I hope that if you're having different circumstances, then let us know. We'll do our best to answer it out loud. But that's basically what you're doing. Tracy also says, hi, everyone. Lovely to see you both. Thank you, Tracy.
Hello.
Glenn Ney has just joined us. This is Karen, Jane, Jodie, Kerry, Louise, Victoria, Celine. I hope that's the way of saying that. Jodie, Dawn. Lots of people watching this afternoon. Thank you, everyone.
Right, so this is the transfer tape that you get, and what it is, it's like a sticky. Do you remember years ago you used to put stuff on like exercise books as a kid?
Absolutely.
It kind of reminds me of that, but it isn't because it's sticky, but it's reusable. Okay. So I will promise you that it gets to a point like you will eventually work out that it's not working anymore because it's not picking up. But you can use this to a point where even I've had bits of fluff and stuff on my transfer tape and it's still happily picks it up. So what we're going to do is we're going to place this over our Mr. and Mrs. I'm going to use my little tool here just to burnish it down, and what you'll see is you will see that the outside edge kind of becomes a little bit whiter than it was, and that means it's sort of ready to pick it up.
I do get 5 sheets of this in there anyway, but as you say, it's...
You actually get 7 sheets.
7 sheets, my bad.
Because in the essential kit, you get gold, silver, black and white, and 2 sheets of transfer. Okay. So ultimately, you do get 7 of these, but they are completely reusable. Now, what I would recommend, when you are peeling this away, peel the paper backing away. Don't try and peel this, peel the paper away from the transfer tape. Okay, that's done with.
Nice.
Now, if you've got the most amazing eyesight in the world, props to you, and you may be able to just literally go like that and lay it over. Yeah. But that isn't me. Yep. So on the website, there is heat transfer vinyl. Okay. So they also sell heat transfer vinyl. And when you use heat transfer vinyl, you want to have like a silicone sheet, which is like parchment, but slightly thinner, and that separates the heat from your vinyl. Okay. Now, you can get that on the website, but what it also does, it's like multi-purpose. It helps you to line up the vinyl without having to stick it down straight away. And I will show you what I mean. So I'm going to lay this down. He's a wizard. Like that. Okay. I'm going to put mine over the top. And again, I apologise if my head gets a little bit in the way. And then I line up, you see, and I still haven't had to commit to the stick at all. I line up the elements, make sure that bit sticks there like a little sort of flap. And then I come in, I take away, and there we go. Oh, how cool is that? Super clever. And then you don't have to worry if you're anything like me and you can't see a straight line, because the parchment paper is going to protect you. So if at first it doesn't line up and you need to restart, you absolutely can. And then just tear that away. These are some little craft bags. I think they're 180 GSM craft bag that we sell on the website as well, and they work perfectly with our self-adhesive. And I'm just going to layer that on top. Again, I'm using my scraper, and this is what's wonderful about self-adhesive vinyl. There's a little lip here from the handles, but it doesn't matter. It's sticky, so it will stick around the lip. And then you just take a moment to peel it off. If it hasn't completely stuck down, oh, it has, it's fine, but if it hadn't, you could just peel that, put the transfer back over the top. This is reusable, so I stick it back on my reusable paper. Put that to one side. And there we have, not only have we got that beautiful matte look, so it gives it that real sophisticated look, but we've used some of the red from the red shades that you get in the collection, some of the grey, that beautiful mist grey at the back, really lovely, very delicate, and it looks really simple and easy, and it hardly took any time, and you've now got a gift bag. That could be for wedding presents, that could be for someone that you're giving them an anniversary, whatever you want to do, but using that vinyl makes it so much easier to create a product, because you don't have to necessarily worry about using glues and things like that, if that's the sort of thing that worries you. In
all my years, I've never seen that kind of demonstration with vinyl with a scan and cut.
Oh, what part?
All of it, as in like the bit about the baking.
The silicone paper,
silicone sheet as well. Also
that is, without a doubt, my most favourite trick, because I don't know if I've got any. In fact, you'll see on one of the demonstrations, I've got the cup that says Rebecca, and trying to line up Rebecca with the outside edge is so difficult if you don't use that trick. Using that trick just makes any fear that you've ever had goes away.
But that with like the two different types of vinyl in there, after all, it could be as personal. You could like personalise it. You got alphabets in there, whatever you want to say. But nevertheless, to do that with vinyl to then make and sell if I want to do.
Absolutely, as long as you're creating with our beautiful products, you can be selling them. Right,
Kirkham, I'll let you get ready for something else.
Okay.
Whether that's card, whether that's vinyl, completely
Let's do some
up
card.
to you. Let's do some card. But I'm going to go this way, guys, just to quickly recap for you here. So, all of that vinyl we were just talking about, there are different combinations. There are glossy finishes on sweet-factory.co.uk. This bit here is a representation of what we're so excited about. 100 sheets, 34 colours. It arrives in this Western box, by the way, and it arrives in the 10 packs like you're seeing here. So as you are spying through, you've got the shades of yellow, of red, of green, of blue, grey. Essentials, which has that, as Helen said, white, black, silver, gold, and 2 transfer sheets. The Harlequin, which is one of the green ones over here. Stone yellow, pink, violet, aqua green, apple green as well. The metals. And you've also got pure black and pure white. That is just a hint of what you're getting on there for £76.50. But Dan, you said 90. I know. And it says 90 on the website. Please use the code TCS15. It's on the screen. It's also stated on sweetfactory.co.uk as well, because thanks to the craft store and Sweet Factory appearing with us, they are granting another 15% off the products we are talking about today on set. So £76.50 plus your P&P will be your price. So congratulations, everybody. And if I can, just bring your attention to this side of things. What are you going to do with your vinyl? And this is the thing, whether it's going to be a business to make and sell, maybe it's going to be giftables. You can see the bag that Helen just did there. But in front of us here, you are seeing drinks bottles, you're seeing coasters, you're seeing things behind glass. For example, when you get the licenses and bits and bobs, which I know Create and Craft used to do, and I'm sure other people do it as well, for the files. You've seen that Mr. and Mrs. just being done, but that's on the flip side round. Grey on red rather than red on grey. That is so striking. And how else are you adhering to glass? Helen Kirkham?
I do have to say something about that elephant. I think it's really important to note is this is actually backwards.
Right.
Now, what that means is if you put your hand over the elephant, you aren't going to peel the vinyl off. Touch it, if you actually touch the vinyl.
Oh, it's inside.
And that is a definite thing that works really wonderful with the Sweet Factory vinyl. A lot of their vinyl colours are actually through all the way in colour.
Yeah.
So if you are going to put something and you don't want it to be tactile, you don't want people to be able to touch it because maybe you're putting it out as a piece of art, or something like that elephant that is really thin, very delicate, so you don't want it to be touched. Being able to do it on the reverse and still see that beautiful colour is something that's so special and unique.
And those thin lines, exactly what Helen was talking about with sentiments, having those transfer sheets is exactly what that's so important for. I'm going to put the shampoo bottle back down. Beautiful, isn't it? And then on your cards, like I say, maybe it's your sequins and beads you're spying there, maybe it's a money box, personalisation. You can just use Vinyl, like you use coloured cardstock, like you use a pen, but it is self-adhesive and it's got that beautiful finish. You can be as lacy, whether you're cutting the vinyl with your scan and cut or your Cricut or whatever it's going to be, with your die cutting machine, with your guillotine, your trimmer, your scissors, your rotary cutter, your knives, whatever it is. That's the sort of thing you can be using vinyl for, self-adhesive vinyl too. So congratulations, everybody, checking out your baskets. Get on sweet-factory.co.uk. Now, cardstock-wise, I am going to give you a little tour starting up here at the aubergine. We'll go a little snake, Taz. Why not? Let's go in a snaky. Why not? I'm going to go quite quick, or as quickly as Taz moves the cameras. I'll let you know how much it is, how many you're getting in there. Starting at the top here. This is at 450 GSM. 10 sheets there, only $4.99. Next to the Infraviolet, which is so cool. That's still 400 GSM. 10 sheets in there, $4.99. As you spy the Mocha, 380 GSM, 15 sheets. You're getting the price, $4.99. In fact, everything I'm about to tell you is $4.99 until I get to the bone china. The last one on the side, I love this. Kirkham, just to bring in your voice here, this smoke cardstock is a lovely colour, isn't it?
Absolutely. I really, again, what I think is quite unique about Sweet Factory is I think as crafters, we're quite used to seeing pearlescent card with and they do have it on this show, but with a gold hint.
Yep.
But this is a much more sort of silver, sort of platinum kind of hint. And I think it's really lovely. And something to note as well, I don't know if we'll get an opportunity to show it, but you do have a card over there with the flower on. I don't know if you can see it, Dan. It's got a green backing.
In this pile here?
Yes, just you literally, yeah, that one.
Yep.
So that, now it's the white gold, but it's the same pearlescent. That is inking on pearlescent card.
Right.
And so what's really lovely about that is when you ink on pearlescent card, obviously you're going to need to heat set it or leave it to dry because pearlescent's got a shine to it. But that means that once you do it, you get the shine come through the ink. And that's what's super clever about using a pearlescent card.
Shine on there as well, can't you?
That's really low. So that's the Botanics, and that is a beautiful paperweight, but actually works really well for the gift boxes. Right, here we go. So that's smoke. Below smoke, if we go down, and again, you can get ahead of us. You can recap. I know I'm going quickly. Diamond Dust, darling. Diamonds are forever. $4.99. 20 sheets there. That's $2.40 GSM. Apple green is the next one along, which is perfectly signed, isn't it? For you, 15 sheets, $4.99. Now, ice silver pearl, and listen, if only I could get them all wiggled, but it's really, really beautiful, the ice silver pearl, as you can start. I hope you can anyway. But 350 GSM. Oh, my mic's broken. Oh no! Kirkham, keep talking. So again, what's lovely about the ice silver is, again, like we were saying with the smoke, gold is usually the sense that you see through these colours, but having that ice silver, and this is a real sort of almost wedding-like. So if maybe you're making your own wedding invitations, it scores beautifully, so you could actually use it as a card blank. But also the die cutting, and you saw earlier, we showed you with the apple green, but the same is with this one. It embosses beautifully as well. So I think definitely if you're thinking about making your own wedding invitations or thank you cards from weddings, that ice silver would be really stunning. That was seamless, Kirkham. Well done. Thank you. Unlike me. There's the ice silver. The best white cardstock, 15 sheets, $4.99 next to there. Here we go. We have to talk about the best white card. Now, OK, so it's white card, you know, simple white card, I get it. But the one thing, if you are anything like me, who is really into your stamping, but likes to smooth. Yeah, really smooth. Well, if you like to do your alcohol markers, if you like to do your sort of watercolour-esque, if you like to use inks and things like that, you want a card that's going to stand up to taking all of that medium. And I can tell you from my own personal experience, I've struggled in my time to find white smooth card that's a good enough weight that I can do all of my different techniques. Here it is. We have found it, woohoo! The best white card is fabulous for your stamping. If you are into stamping, please, please, please get yourself some of this and try your different mediums, because I know how difficult it is to get it. We've got it, and you've got 15% off. And can I say, let's just talk about the fact that it's $4.99. Yes, and you are still also getting that. You are getting a promo code off $4.99. Sometimes when you go and use your promo code, it's only off things that are £10 or more. Yeah, which would make sense. I get that for business and stuff. No, for business you have to do that, but that's not what's happening here. And I hope you buy lots of different things, but please, please put some of that best white card in your shopping cart, because it is fantastic for stamping. Next to there, we talked about it a lot at the start, the bone china cardstock. This is the only one that isn't $4.99. It's only $9.99. It's still $2.40 GSM. 75 sheets. Wow, I mean, wow. And again, you'll see Dan's got, can we just show know the gift box, Dan? That's the other one that's got the clip on.
Yep.
Now, this is the bone china. And as you can see, I've scored it and cut it, even doing those diagonal scores that you need to create a milk carton with. That is 240 GSM, but how beautiful are those score lines.
Yep.
This is perfect for your gift boxes. This is perfect for your card blanks. It's got a slight texture to it, so if you want to ink it onto it, you can as well. But this is really beautiful to stand up to, because when you use a card for a card blank, it really has to stand up on its own. You can't be sitting there falling over. And look at it. Look at that. Amazing. Diagonal scores, and it still looks amazing.
Diagonal scores.
Wow.
$9.99 for 75 sheets. Right, 2 more to show you. Next to there, it's the lightest weight on the show. 120 GSM in that botanic green, which you see has that sort of pearlescenty finishy to it anyway. Again, $4.99. And finally, because I know we're going to get back to demonstrations, white gold pearl, A4 in size, 15 sheets. 300 GSM, $4.99. This is such a treat, this show. You're right.
Yeah, I just love my little tombstone.
A little Paul Bearer next to there. You know, Paul Bearer was like in wrestling. Do you know that? Oh,
there was actually a person called Paul Bearer. Was that his wrestling name, though?
He was the Undertaker's manager.
Oh, that's fabulous.
Yes.
Do you know, The Undertaker is one of my mum's favourite... Well, we used to know it when it was WWF. I know it's WWE now, but he was one of my mum's favourite wrestlers. And did you actually know that I met Hulk Hogan outside a toilet as well?
I did know you met Hulk Hogan. That's what it is. When you follow these people,
fans of
when you follow these people around and you go against the barriers and against security, Kirkham, and you muscle into the urinals.
Hulk Hogan was following me around, Dan. He'd said, I knew that person off that craft channel.
Brother, that is what he says. And if anyone knows wrestling, that's how he talks. Anyway, white gold. I don't know why we're talking about that, but we are. White gold pearl for $4.99. Thank you, everybody. I'm going to wander back. Thank you, everybody, for watching, by the way. We're really excited to have the Sweet Factory on the craft store. The guys, the team are back on the 27th, I know. That's right, isn't it?
I believe so, but it won't be me.
I know it's not you. But nevertheless, but really excited about what they're going to bring then. But this is such a wonderful collective. Hand-picked products to come onto the craft store. Particularly that 100 sheets is exceptional. But whatever works best for you, sweet-factory.co.uk. Hey, Helen over there, what are you going to do?
So I thought I would... So one of my favourite papers, and actually I think it's quite an unusual cardstock, is the Mocha.
Mocha, yeah.
Now, this is a dark core, so you can see it's got a black core as well. So if you wanted to, like, emboss this and then sand it, you absolutely can. I don't know if it's easy to tell that it's got... If I put it up against the white, it might be able to easier to see.
Oh,
you see that dark core? So, and what that also means is it's got a low chalk content, which means it's great for going through your scan and cut.
Okay.
So what I thought I would do is I'm going to take some of that and I'm going to emboss it. Now, just a little bit of a tip. This is my preferred way of doing it, but you can do it. I would always recommend... Please, if you don't like it, you don't have to do it, but I would always recommend cut down your piece of card before you send it through the embossing folder.
Okay.
That is just, because sometimes when you've got the over the edges, I find that it can be quite a strain on the embossing folder. So I always cut it down to size and it just makes it a little bit easier for me.
Hey, Taz, Director Taz.
Hey.
Shall I move the overhead? All right.
Okay, so we're going to send this through my big shot here. This is an electronic die cutting machine, but obviously it will go through lots of your standard die cutting machines. This is a great card weight, so you don't have to worry about any kind of issue. Taz? So as I was saying, I wouldn't necessarily send maybe the purple aubergine through, but the... Whoa, what are we doing?
I just brought it over. Okay. We'll see. Let's do it live, Taz. Take the shot, see what it looks like. Oh, look at that! Oh, my gosh.
That's amazing.
Tell someone. Everyone tell them.
Well done, Dan.
Have you got any jobs going on, Hobby Maker? I can move cameras.
So can we just look? Can we? Right. So that emboss, that is real. In fact, if I show you the deboss, that is a real deep, beautiful emboss, right? But hey, that's gorgeous.
That mocha colour,
Let's make it even more pretty, shall we?
Go on.
Let's play with it even a little bit more. So I'm going to get some gilding wax. Now, you can use a sponge if you want to, but I'm just going to use my finger.
Oh, this one comes with a sponge in the...
It does.
In the lid, doesn't it?
It does. But I personally prefer to be able to feel it with my fingers. I think you get a better control of how much gilding wax. Look at that!
Here we go.
Oh, isn't that stunning? So obviously the more you
I
put
thought you
on...
were going to break into song then, saying you feel it in your fingers.
I feel it in my fingers. I feel it in my toes.
Boom, 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 boom.
There we go.
Boom, 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 boom.
Love it. No, stop. Do you remember? Oh, yes.
Who's going to sue us, Taz? Oh, yeah, Marty Pello might be like... Because he never misses the show, to be fair.
Oh, he does. He's an avid crafter, actually. He makes cards himself and gives them to every person he meets.
Does he?
No.
I thought there was like another wet song that sort of would be the punchline to what you just said.
Oh,
But
sorry, I'm
obviously
not that clever.
No one knows any other wet songs.
So I don't need to do the whole thing. I just want to show you. I've got one finished here. But let me just clean my finger off because it's now all gold. There we go. So, oh, it's still gold. Ha! That was a terrible cleaning up. So I've just finished one here. But look.
Wow.
And that gold works so beautiful with that mocha. So remember that mocha is a really good weight. Really wonderful for embossing.
380 GSM. And you think that might be too tough to get embossed, and too thick.
Shall we start making the card?
Shall we?
Yeah. So I'm going to put, because I think that actually that beautiful grey works gorgeous with the mocha brown. So I thought I'd also use some of that.
I think we're all enjoying the holster you've brought out with you today.
So do you know what this is?
A glue gun?
It is, but it's not a hot glue gun.
No.
It's for wet glue, and it's for people that struggle to, maybe they have issues with squeezing glue bottles.
Yep.
So,
I didn't even know that existed. That's fabulous.
Thank you. That was actually another gift from my mother.
Well done, Mother.
Yeah. So.
Where did she buy it from? What brand is it? We can say.
So this is My Sweet Petunia. Now you may have heard of these. In fact, I probably think you definitely have. If you're in the crafting world, you've heard of the Misty. It's a stamping platform, and that's by a company called My Sweet Petunia. And so is this. Now are we allowed to say where I purchased it?
Okay.
Well, I didn't purchase it. My mother purchased it, but I got it from.
Hobbycraft.
No, it was from Simon Says Stamps in the US.
Okay.
I don't believe. I could be wrong, and if I'm wrong, I apologise, but I've never found it over here.
Because I've never seen it before.
But yeah, she bought it from a website in the US, which does deliver to the
Here's the thing, friends. We are very, very supportive of everybody else, every other store. That's why the craft store, we wanted to shop with Sweet Dash Factory, for example. I want you to be absorbing your craft from wherever you can. So that is watching Crafters TV, that's watching Hobby Maker, it's watching Sewing Street, it's watching all these other ones like the How to Craft Network. Lots of people go to lots of effort to bring you lots of wonderful crafty bits and bobs. We are very lucky here at the Craft Store, as it means you can shop direct, which is just another option to get hold of the Sweet Factory, but it does mean that Sweet Factory are in charge, right, Kirkham? Which means you get things like the promo code TCS15, which I'd probably imagine is the best possible price, and you can then shop the rest of the website too. Okay.
So as I was saying, I'm using, because I want to show you how gorgeous this is at die cutting as well, I've used the mocha to cut out a sentiment, but as you can see, this is kind of what I was talking about. This is quite a delicate one, which is beautiful, but I put a little too much glue. And so if I'd actually used the vinyl, this would not have been an issue because there wouldn't have been any glue for me to add. But I'm going to wipe that off because that is definitely too much glue.
Okay.
Okay, there we go.
Nice, nice, nice.
So again, you can see how beautiful this die cuts. This is also, the circle was a punch. So the that gorgeous smoke metallic goes through your punches. So say you're not into die cutting, maybe you've got lots of punches from lots of different companies. This works beautifully as well, and you don't get any feathered edges or anything like that, which is very special and very good. So I've created our card here, and I'm just going to use a little foam pad just to make our sentiment go up a little bit higher.
After this demonstration, kids, I'm going to show you guys the white gold, the double-sided pearlescent cardstock, because it doesn't do it justice just stood up there. You've got to give it a, got to give it a wiggle.
Really, if you go for that card as well, that's the
green one.
Yeah, that's
nice. Okay, I will.
How gorgeous that is when it's embossed. So I'm just using a regular card blank, but again, if you are thinking about it, you can absolutely use those the card, and particularly that beautiful bone china, to make your own card blanks if you wanted to. but this is just a regular card blank, and I'm just going to hold that down till it catches. There we go. And so what we've got here is we've got our beautiful mocha that's been embossed, and how gorgeous that holds and emboss, especially with that gilding wax as well. You've then got the beautiful smoke metallic card, and that's with that circle in the centre. Now that was a punch, as I said, but you could be using dies and things like that. It die cuts beautifully. It goes on the scan and cut beautifully as well. And then I've used that mocha both on the sentiment and as matten layer, and that smoke on a matten layer as well. And just think that is, for that, I think that was probably about 1.5 sheets. Because obviously I used the matten layer as well. That was about 1.5 sheets of, and 1 sheet of the smoke. And imagine all the sheets you're going to be getting, so all the cards you've been creating. And this isn't a small card, it's quite a large card. And yet we've only used a tiny bit of the gorgeous card we're going to get in our collection.
It's all gorgeous card, isn't it? Now the last one I was showing you when we went around the little snake and I around the display there was this white gold pearl, of which, just to see, even from over there where you are watching now, it's so reflective, double-sided.
Double-sided. That's quite unusual, I think, as well, for a metallic card.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
Yeah.
For $4.90, if you're just tuning in right now, because whatever was on at 4:30 is finished early. That's not what real TV does, they don't finish early.
4:30?
I mean 2:30, don't I?
I was like,
14, 24-hour clock, can't do that.
If you're telling me it's 4:30, not only have we gone half an hour too long, that is gone, that's like the speediest 2 hours
It's
in the
gone,
world.
isn't it? But nevertheless, looking at that and then seeing this white gold embossed, which is just spectacular. Look at that. Wedding invites. I love the slight cream to it.
Yeah,
it's beautiful, isn't it?
Slightly cream look. Yeah, absolutely, really beautiful. I just love the fact that it is white. It is a white card, but when you just move it a little bit with that light, you suddenly get that gorgeous sort of sparkle, almost dusting of gold through the paper.
Dusting, a hint of.
A hint of.
A suggestion of. A spritz.
Ooh, just a suggestion.
A suggestion.
Just show it and walk away.
Exactly right. Right, Kirkham, I'm going to go that way, but what are we going to do next? Go back here?
Should we go back to the vinyl? Yeah,
Shall
we
we?
can. Or we could, you know, or I've also, yeah, no, let's do the vinyl. That's
Yeah?
fine. Yep, let's do the vinyl.
All right, cool.
Cool.
I'm going to go back this way. It's just got, now this show should normally be finishing, but we're going to plough through, aren't we? Plough through we are.
Keep going.
Keep going. Right, I'm going to put this back, and I might put this cardstock back as well where I found it. If I can reach, we'll see. But yes, I can. Yes, I can. Of course I can. Here we go. So, friends, you've got the idea of the cardstock, of which everything bar the bone china, which is 75 sheets. Everything else, $4.99 as far as cardstock goes, from 120 up to 450 GSM. And we're talking all things aubergine, by the way. Helen's got like a photo album or various bits and bobs you can do, like brag books and things that you can do with a 450 GSM cardstock. This, however, if you were one of the many, many people who were messaging us desperate, not only when you found Sweet Factory were coming on, but even before then, are you going to bring a scanning cut? Are you going to bring things designed for a scanning cut? Well, we're in luck, because this vinyl is designed to be die cut with your dies, in your intricate dies, for example, but it also is designed for your electric cutting machines. You can get smaller selections. Sweet Factory also do, for example, like a gloss finish. This is the matte finish collection. In my hands here, I've got a little example of. These are the 10 packs that you get home. But let me quickly show you my hands now. Out of those 10 packs within there, you've got 100 sheets in total. So as you can spy, all of these through the yellows, then going into the oranges, the reds, etc. All of these are in the pack in front of us here, which is absolutely beautiful. Oh, I'm sure if you look wider across a Sweet Factory, you can get more just Olympic blue or more vivid blue, etc., etc. But to get a selection of these, all the greys that you spy in there also. And then you've also got like metallics and essentials, which are really, really smart. On that matte finish, that's what you're getting in front of us here, but you're not just getting that after all. All of these then arrive in this box too. So we just literally got them out of the box and put the 10 selections together in the compilation. Use some English. Okay, I will this time. And you can then also, you get the free 5 sheets of reusable transfer tape. 7 in total because you've got 2 in the essentials after all. That is worth £90. You've got a further 15% off there, making your price $76.50 plus your P&P by shopping with the code TCS15. You see on the bottom part of the screen, use code TCS15. That is not website wide. It is the products that are handpicked for the craft store wide. So even items that are £90 or $4.99 can get a further 15% off. Maybe at the start of the show, you just saw that card that Helen just made there and went, right, I'm going to go for the mocker. I love that idea. $4.99, 15% off. And then you come back now and go, hang on a minute, I didn't realise it's self-adhesive vinyl. Can I check out again? Absolutely. As long as you're doing it before Sunday, the 11th of May, on these items, you can get a further 15% off with the code TCS15. And that is purely for the craft store. You guys, the audience right now, whether you're watching on Facebook or watching on YouTube. If you're watching right now, just give us a hello. What are you doing this bank holiday? Just been out for lunch? Is it raining where you are? Is it sunny? What are you crafting with right now? Any questions about the Sweet Factory or what you're getting home? That's exactly what we're here for. We are live here for another hour till just before 4 o'clock. But I am going to wander back because we've done a bit of die cutting. But Kirkham, there was lots of questions and requests to see you buy a scan and cut. So here we are.
Yeah, that was really funny. That was really sweet. So I thought I would, now I'm going to cut it on here, but I'm not going to go through how I did this because obviously this is about the vinyl, not about the scan and cut.
Okay.
But just quickly to show you, this is my handwriting. That is Helen, and I wrote this yesterday. And
I am Helen, and I wrote this yesterday.
I am Helen, and I wrote this yesterday.
Yep.
I scanned this into my machine. Very simply, and what I did, it's very tiny obviously because it's the right size, but if we can get close, in fact I'll just make it bigger just to show you.
Save that button, Taz, in the gallery.
Exactly. So here we go. And that is my handwriting, much bigger, but that is, as you can see, even the little fleck on the N, because this machine has got a scan and cut. So it's got it can cut, it can also scan. So I'm going to take this down to 0.97, which is the size I need it for my project. I'm just going to resize that. So, okay, now I've got my Helen that I've used, but also something else, which is very exciting, which I very much love, is for a long time I have seen these people who take key rings, like acrylic key rings, and they paint on the back with paint.
Right.
And then they put names on the other side.
So that's like the paint's the background, yeah?
Yep. And I've always thought it was so clever, and I've tried it multiple times, and I can just never, you know, when you look at something and I'm like, I just don't like how that, it just doesn't work for me when I do it. And I was like, what's a cheat? What's a cheater way around? Okay. Cheater way around is to draw a paint splat. So that's what I did.
Right.
And I scanned it into the machine, again, saved it to the scan to the machine. Remember, I can scan this in and save it because it's my drawing. And I was able then to get my own personal paint spot with the vinyl. And remember, as I was telling you before, where you can see the back from the elephant, obviously you can see the back all the way through the acrylic, because this is pink all the way through. So it works just like a paint would, but it's a lot easier. Right. So I'm going to use that as well, but we'll just pop that to one side for now. And I'm just going to cut out my Helen. So I've got some of the gorgeous blue here from the blue shades. By the way, it was Lizzie who was saying she couldn't get on the website. Oh, has she been able to? She has. Fabulous. She came back and was like, hi, Dan, yes, thank you for that. I went to sweet-factory.co.uk. So now I have gone to the correct site. Yay. Thanks again from Lizzie. Amir was saying he couldn't get onto it either. Amir, I think the same thing. Just double check the website's on the screen for you. Or on Google, just search Sweet Factory Craft. Yeah, that's because I think that when you put Sweet Factory in, I think if you don't put the dash, it takes you to a sweet shop. Which is great. Which is, Pick a Mix is fantastic, but it ain't going to help you out with vinyl. Carol says hi, as does Sally. Lorraine's just tuned in as well. Linda Chapman. Hey, hi, hello, Dan and Linda. Helen. Hello, El Chapitan. Wonderful lady that she is. There's another hello. Here, Lorraine. Lorraine says, hi, Dan and Helen. Enjoying today's show. Thank you. Bless you, Lorraine. I'm glad you're here. Continue on. Fabulous. So what I've done is I've just scanned in my mat where my tiny piece of vinyl is, because I don't want to, you don't have to put a whole sheet on, you can, but I would recommend to cut it down to size, just makes it a little bit easier. Okay. And also, can I say, while that's cutting, another little tip. Now this is a smaller Western box. Yes. And I've just put scrap vinyl on it. I've even put it this side because I actually lay it down that way. Okay. And so I can see it, and I just put all my little bits in. Cool. So another way of keeping those little pieces. So there's bits that we know for demonstration-wise, you were getting rid of them and not going right, not being very frugal. But with that, that's where they'd normally go. Maybe. I would always recommend, if you are going to use a piece of vinyl, cut it. Don't stick the whole A4 on. I just don't think, unless obviously you're cutting something that needs an A4, because it's you know, you don't need to keep sending all that vinyl and keep that in your box. So just use a pair of scissors, cut it down. It's really easy. Nice. So I've cut that out. Just going to load my mat by using my load and unload button. Again, I'm just going to take off this. So this is a low tap mat, but it's still got quite a nice stick to it. And then I'm going to come in and I'm going to take off the centres of
your L's and your E's.
Helen. There we go. Use my little weeding box, which makes it easier. My weeding.
Have you ever watched Channel 4's Staff?
I've never watched Channel 4.
No, I haven't. It's really good.
Go on.
It's a comedy.
Are you about to say Staff Lets Flats?
Yes.
I love that show.
So the way you say Helen is the way that he says Helen.
Helen?
Yeah, but in the...
How do I say it? I'm now saying it differently, I'm guessing.
Oh, I can't do it now. I don't know if you've ever seen it.
Helen.
It's a comedy about a Greek chap who runs a estate agent.
So funny.
And in the, what's it called? Pilots, he's showing around a lady called Helen.
Oh, yeah.
And the way he talks, Helen. That's how you say Helen. It's very, very funny.
That is a
very
great
clever
show.
man who wrote that.
I do think it's now on Netflix as well.
Stuff is it?
Yeah.
Nice. Anyway,
So I've got my Helen, and I don't know how
do you like P. Helen? Do you remember when they're sitting on the bench? That's exactly what it is.
I don't know how to say it now, I'm scared. So I've got my name, and I'm going to take my little piece of transfer tape. Again, I'm just using my little tool there to just burnish it down, and I'm taking it from the back like so. And then I'm going to I'm going to put this on here, because otherwise it's going to be completely clear, and that's quite tricky to see. And I'm going to lay... Oh.
I didn't move the overhead, did I? Okay, it's okay.
Oh, of course.
It's okay, stand down.
Yeah, of course. So I'm going to layer it down on here, like so. Now, I don't... you could use the trick of the silicone paper if you wanted to.
I think this is okay.
I think this was a bit more simple for me anyway, so I didn't need to. So I peel that off. And then I pop that down, because what we've also got...
Let's not forget, this could be the thing that you're doing to make and sell, to make profit for a charity, for your own crafty business.
Make the colour, Dan.
Well, you know what, as we've got pink behind there, should we go green?
Yeah, perfect. So I'm just going to... Remember, I drew this little paint splat. And then we're going to turn it over.
If you've got an unusual spelling of a name...
Perfect. And you know what's super clever is I always think that doing it this way, like obviously you've got fonts on a lot of cutting machines, so obviously you can build up any name you want. But I also think, imagine if you've got your little daughter or little son or grandchild or niece or nephew, and they've written their name for the first time, and you scan it in, save that name, and then create them a keyring with their actual handwriting with the vinyl. His mind. Wow. So again, this is obviously, as I said, I'm doing it on the back side.
Yep.
Not of water, the back side.
Yep.
Acrylic. Just scrape that down. Peel that off, and then this is the wonder and the amazingness of Sweet Factory vinyl. Not only can you see it the back, you can see it all the way through the front, because that colour is the same.
Easy, isn't it? Easy, easy. And this could be the sort of thing that's on, like, do you like PE, Helen? Does it remind you of the benches of PE, Helen? Honestly, it's one of my favourite things ever to watch. Nevertheless...
Do you know how many people spell my name with a double L as well?
Do they?
Ellen, because like you're saying, Ellen.
Who does that?
Well, because they think it's like Ellen.
Helen.
Yeah.
My sister's Helen, isn't it?
Yeah, this is also a conversation we've had, that your sister is called Helen.
Yeah, my sister also has a name. Now then, I know we're going to move on to something else, but unless it's a future demonstration, you were going to put something on here when we were just getting ready for the show. It was like a glass something that had like loads of alphabet bits on it.
Oh, it's not a demonstration. No, this is actually something...
This is really cool.
This
is vinyl, right?
Okay, yes, it is. And super fun. Super, super, super fun. So I saw this online. Someone had done it with pen.
Right.
And I thought, that would work really well with vinyl. And again, because of the fact that our vinyl is core colour all the way, something like this you'd have to do back to front, because you use a pen to go over it, and I'll explain why.
Let's find it.
So this is, again, back to front. So it's wipeable, so you just need a whiteboard pen. Imagine giving to the little kids or whatever in the car or something like that. You don't need to worry about any extra tools except for a pen, and you can play, because it's actually back to front. So if you feel there's the vinyl stuck on.
Yeah.
But you don't have to worry, you can do it back to front. And so now it's not tactile, it's not going to peel off when they're drawing or the person's colouring in and stuff. I love this. If you want to see this being made, you can go onto the Sweet Factory Instagram page, and I think about halfway down the grid, you will see this being created by my fair hands. And all of this has been created. So this I actually built by shrinking down a rectangle and just diagonally moving and things like that to make this little hangman thing.
How cool is that?
It's so cool, I love it. And it's terrible to say about something I created. That's so cool, but I just love it. It's so clever.
Anything you make with a scanning cutter or dies when you get them home, and actually it does it what you see on TV or what you saw on the video, which is why if you're on Instagram, do follow Sweet Factory because you post every single day. So you're going to be interested by that coming up. I'm going to quickly recap. Then I'm straight back.
So what are we doing? Some more card? Or?
Well, it's up to you. We've done 2 here and 1 over there. Should we go back over there?
OK, perfect. Sounds good.
We've got lots of time, haven't we? No problem at all. Come on then. I'm going
Fabulous.
This way. Come with me, friends. I will quickly recap the exact colours that you're getting in there after all. So these are 100 sheets, which is brilliant, isn't it? Again, it arrives in this case for you here. Should be £90, which I think is already reduced considering getting 100 sheets in there. So less than £1 a sheet, which of vinyl, 90p in fact. You are then getting another 15% off thanks to the code TCS15. Through the yellows and the reds and the greens and the blues and the greys and the essentials, the harlequin, the metal and the black. That's what you've just seen there. I've gone very, very quickly. But through the reds, for example, which is right in the middle, you've got medium red, dark red, wine, a burgundy, and then 2 of the pure reds you're seeing there. The green, which is just next to it, apple, light green, bright green, forest green, and green, if you like. There's so many different ones in there that you're seeing to the eye. Literally, it's a matter of space. We haven't got enough space to put 100 sheets of vinyl there, all self-adhesive, and you get the 5 free sheets of reusable transfer tape that Helen's demonstrated every single time. And in the essentials, you get another 2 anyway, so you've got 7 in total for £76.50. We want you to get the lowest possible price, and that is with that promo code TCS15. So before this show was agreed, there was no promo code on there. Come this time next week, there's no promo code anymore. Check out your baskets on, and I know a couple of you have messaged saying you can't go on the website, either directly into your search engine, put www.sweet-factory, and the dash is important, -factory.co.uk, or in Google, just search Sweet Factory Craft, and then it will take you to the correct website. You'll see the craft store logo on it. Tick there, and it's those items, not just this. And there's more on there than we're showing you, by the way. There's a smaller bundle of this. There's like a glossy bundle for you. So there's all sorts, not just with the mats or with the cardstock, but you can see it all there together. But please, when you check out your baskets, of which you check out your baskets on the Sweet Factory website, use that code TCS15 for a further 15% off. Today, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, end of play Sunday, and then it goes away, okay? I really hope you're going to do that for your scanning cut, for your silhouette, for your die cutting machines, or just with your trimmers, whatever you'd rather do. And I'm going to quickly bring your attention to one of the cardstocks, which is the aubergine next to us here. This is the heaviest weight, 450 GSM. 10 sheets, $4.99. What are you going to do with cardstock? What is the purpose of, which is so important, of 450 GSM? Shall we find out, Kirkham?
Yeah.
Come on down. I'm going to have a wander and a stagger this way. That is my seamless link to the next demonstration.
Look at you. It's almost as if you could see me.
Shut up.
OK, so this is the aubergine, as you said, 450 GSM.
Yeah.
So this is a real thick weight, and it's great if you are, like when you're mounting pictures and things like that, this would be a perfect weight.
Yes,
and it's a really beautiful aubergine, sort of very purpley colour, which I think is quite an unusual colour. It's fun. It's the colour of craft, apparently, purple, and royalty.
Oh, yeah. Colour of creativity.
Oh, creativity, not craft.
I mean, yeah, you're not wrong.
I mean, I am, because it was creativity and I said craft.
Yeah, but...
I don't mind taking one for the team and saying I was wrong, but it's definitely royalty. I know that for a fact.
I know that for a fact. Or is it?
It is. And so what we're going to do is we're going to take the A4 sheet, and you're going to cut it down to... Now, I can only apologise that I keep looking over here, but I've got the instructions written down. So you're going to cut this 9.5 inches by 6 inches. Okay, so that's your A4, 9.5 to 6 inches, and do that twice because you need a front and a back. Mm-hmm. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take our scoreboard. Now, this is quite a thick weight, so I would recommend when you're scoring it, maybe score once or twice or maybe 3 times just to get that beautiful fold.
Once.
So twice. 3 times
A scoreboard.
scoring.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, so close, so close. And we are going to score this at, she says, hold on 2 seconds. Yep, that's right. We're going to score this at 6 inches. So along the 6-inch line, and I'm just going to do that 3 times.
Oh, bless you, Laura Stars, UK, has put loving the show.
Thank you.
She said you tried the link on YouTube, but it didn't lead it to the website.
Oh.
And maybe don't click on the link. It's not meant to be a link. It's meant
Is it
to
a
be...
hyperlink that you haven't sent anywhere?
Well, I didn't make a hyperlink if it is a hyperlink. It wasn't meant to be, Laura.
Hyperlinks anymore? Is
Are
that
they
like
not?
a proper? I don't know.
URL.
Yeah.
Literally, I just want you to type in sweet-factory.co.uk and go that way. Laura's all over it. I'm on the site now.
Yay.
Laura, if you're shopping this part of the show, obviously TCS 15, please. We want you to save even more. Leslie's just joined in, as is Dot and Valerie and Neil and
How
Andrea.
can you see all these? Oh, wow.
You just keep joining. Look, join. Leslie just joined. Dot just joined. Yeah, exactly.
So we've got our 6 by 9.5 inch piece of card. We've scored at the 6-inch mark and the 6.5. And then what we're going to do is we're going to do a mountain fold, like so, which is a mountain because it looks like a mountain. See? And then we're going to do a valley fold, which actually kind of naturally just pushes in.
Oh, by the way, for the glue gun,
Yeah.
Sylvie on YouTube
Oh, yes.
has put the website on the YouTube feed in the comments for the glue gun.
Oh, wow, from one in this country.
Bumbleberrycrafts.co.
That is from this country because I have actually purchased from them before.
UK.
Yes, that is a British company. That is a British website. So if they sell it, fabulous.
Sylvie, all
Nice.
over it, aren't you? I appreciate that.
Fantastic.
Nice one. I really like that.
Yeah, isn't it nice to share?
Brilliant.
Really cool.
Really
so
good.
what we've got our card here, and you're going to have, it's going to look something like that, okay? Very easily. And then what you're going to do is you're going to repeat it.
You're going to what?
You're going to repeat it. Oh! You're going to repeat it and glue the backs together, okay? So you will take... Why are you laughing?
Because you then went, oh, and then repeated it again. So you said it 3 times.
You're going to cut it twice.
Okay.
And then you're going to stick the 2 together, like so. So it's basically stuck. The
I
backs
love this, Kirkham. This is really cool.
like that. So that is your front and your back cover.
You know what? I know we get distracted. I get distracted sometimes, but it's so important to have the right GSM if you want to do something like this. If you're going to make it for somebody else, like a
Absolutely.
wedding album or a firstborn or just an adventure or your crafty bits and bobs in there, you've got to have a heavyweight cardstock.
It stands up for itself. This is one that I made before. And this, can I also say, I'll show you how to do the page in a minute, but this is vinyl. This is vinyl stuck on. So again, they work beautifully together. And I'm, again, terrible that I know that I created this, but I just love this little memories inside of the M.
It's really cool.
It's really clever. And that, can I say, I don't think we're going to get an opportunity to see it today, but this is extremely simple to do on the scan and cut. Like, so easy.
Cool.
It's like 3 steps and you're done.
Maybe
Anyway,
it's the sort of thing you could do on Sweet Factory's Instagram.
there is me doing one with putting it onto a notepad, but not how I did it, just me peeling away the vinyl.
Maybe on your Helen Kirkham Crafts.
Maybe on my YouTube channel I could do it.
Is it still Helen Kirkham Crafts 1?
It is Helen Kirkham's Crafts 1 because they shut me out of the original one.
Shut down.
So yeah, Helen Kirkham Crafts 1 on YouTube, but Helen Kirkham Crafts on Instagram. So yeah, so but back to the card, you'll see that it stands alone. It means it will also take a lot of medium. So if you do a lot of different pages and things like adding a lot of glue, because of that high GSM, it's going to take all of that, no problem. But let me show you how to do the page. So we've got our front cover and our back cover. And then what you're going to do is you're going to take a piece of card which is cut 6 by 6.5 inches.
Oh, okay.
And then you are going to score at the 6-inch line. So 6.5 by 6, and then score at the 6.5 line. And you want, to be fair, you're going to you might be able to fit more in, but the most likely is that you're going to get 6 pages in here. So you'll want 6 of those. And then what you're going to do is you're going to stick them in. The first 2, I didn't cut 1. That's fine. I'll just talk you through it. I won't actually stick it down until we've talked about it. So you're going to stick the first one so the flap is behind the front cover. And then when you've got another one, you're going to stick the other one so that the flap is in front of the back cover.
Okay.
Okay, so inwards. And so I would recommend, you can use glue, but I would recommend something like a red liner tape because obviously this is the bit that's going to be movable. And the reason I do it this way is because I find then it lays flat, which makes it that easier when you're decorating it.
Yes, good point.
So you'll see here, if I bring this over, you will end up with 3 pages on one side, 3 pages on the other, and then the centre will be if you're doing maybe, oh, it's just come up, I need to push that down. The centre will be if you're doing maybe bigger things, like an unfolding thing, because you've got that gap.
Like, maybe like a waterfall thing's going to be in
something
there.
Like a waterfall or something.
This would be so perfect for your adventures with family.
Absolutely, and what I love about it...
studios and stuff, 'cause they're not too big.
No, exactly. And I think sometimes when you've got a large scrapbook with infinite amount of pages, it's scary. It like looks really daunting, whereas this is, 6 pages or 12 pages if you do front and back, and that's not too taxing. That's not too difficult. You could always, cut those flaps down half the size.
Yes.
And then you could add more pages, but it just works in that way. And it's a very simple and easy way to make a memory book, and works perfectly with that aubergine card, because it's such a good solid weight. And so it will stand up to everything. But also, like you say, when you've got it on a bookshelf or something, it will stand up for that too.
And that's a really lovely alternative to a black or a grey having an aubergine, that purple colour coming through. It's just something
really
a bit
nice.
different. But yeah, 450 GSM. I'm sure there's many other 450 GSMs on sweet-factory.co.uk, but this one, the aubergine, has been brought in for this show because it's only $4.99 with a further 15%
we also say,
off.
because again, when I do a show, I like to use as much of the product, not bring in too much that you maybe don't have. So just to let you know, obviously you can see the purples on here. That's the aubergine as well. The bit at the back that's been embossed and inked up is the bone china. And then this purple and this white are from that compilation matte vinyl.
Love that. Now, Kirkham.
Yes.
Here's the plan.
Okay.
I'd love to do more with Scan and Cut.
Yes.
Do you have anything more to do with Scan and Cut?
Of course.
How long do you need to set up for that?
If you want a...
Go on.
No, I won't say what I was going to say. If you would like a quick one,
yes,
it's a few seconds. If you'd like, because it's all cut. So I've got some that I need to go to the machine, some I don't need to go to the machine.
Well, we've got time. We've got 40 minutes.
Which would you prefer, Dan?
Longer one.
Okay, so
But really what I was asking...
Sort of a few minutes?
Yeah?
Perfect.
I was going to say, I'd also love you... work your socks off, to come join me over here again just to talk through your bits and bobs. And,
do you want to do that now?
Well, I don't want to then send you over here and then not ready and...
Ready.
She asked for a few minutes for that as well, didn't she?
Well, no, that's because I was going to put the machine on.
A few minutes, ideally. Just there having a drink.
Ready.
Yeah, it's in a few minutes, Dan. Just going to have that over there, outside.
It was purely because at the moment we've got Helen on there, and I want to go back to the main page.
Done it.
Oh, can I also say, if anyone's seeing these beautiful little tools here, this is something quite exciting that's coming from the Sweet Factory in the future.
Is it?
Ooh. Look at that. So pretty.
Oh, weeding tool.
So the little weeding tool and the weeding box. Obviously, this little stand is mine and these are mine. But yeah, absolutely. This is for the future. I don't know when we're going to put it on the website, but that's a little sneak peek because these tools are uber necessary.
Oh, I see. Now,
yes. Hello.
Now I've done all the hard work thing back to the main screen. Would you like to come around here?
Okay. Am I going?
Yeah, just go. I think we're quite loose and free here. You can sort of, move about, see what's going on, bits and bobs. Anyway, because I'd love you to give me your thoughts on the colours here. Because
yes,
again, if you're just joining us, thank you so much for joining us, Miss Kirkham, back in the studio. Fabulous.
That's weird you calling me that.
Miss Kirkham.
Yeah, you don't just call me Kirkham.
Normally your mother. She's all right still, although we haven't checked on her for a little while.
I don't know, she could be all right. In fact, actually, she was very excited. Other supermarkets are available, but she was very excited because you guys have a co-op round here and we don't have one. So she was super excited to go to the co-op.
What a world. Take her out more, Helen. Let her see the world.
Do you know, I never changed these.
No, don't change them.
Yeah, okay, hang on.
Okay, good stuff. You still watching? Great. Okay. I'm going to talk you through the vinyl side of things in here, but sort of alluding to the fact is, if you have just joined us thinking, 1, 2, 3, 4, 10 different colours? No. You've got 100 different sheets in it. 100 sheets through 34 colours and 5 transfer tape sheets you're not paying for, and the box that they all arrive in as well. So literally, this is what it will all look like here. Hi, Helen.
Hey.
Hey, you've changed, or have you? See if you can tell. Okay. Well, it has. Oh, she's changed again. Where? Pop, pop, pop. That's so cool. Go on, one more. Hang on, do they go on top of each other?
They do.
So glasses are really deep. Like a minion.
It's like a pair of, oh yes! I was thinking it looked like a pair of binoculars, but yeah.
Have you got yellow?
Bob.
What colour are the minion ones?
They're blue, or sort of grey, aren't
like
they?
steely, aren't
grey,
they?
Yeah.
Maybe there. Next time, she's still going. All the fun of the fair. Just saying, the 100 sheets in front of us here, there's more than meets the eye behind each one, but they're all sort of related in their packs, aren't they?
Yeah, absolutely. So you are going to get your sort of yellow shades, your grey shades, reds, blues. You're also going to get Harlequin pack, which is a sort of more pastel-y colour. You're going to get your essentials, which has got your blacks and your whites and your golds and your silver. And you're also going to get a pack of just white and gold, which actually is really great. I think you'll see from a lot of my samples, black is one that I kind of lean towards. I always try to pull myself back, which is why I did the Helen in blue, because I always think I go to the black. I think it's just something I go to, but you should try different colours.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, well, the background there, home is where we get that bit there.
Which one? Yes, so in the black
that's
and the
great, isn't
so
it?
again, this is a perfect example of how the gloss and the matte work together. So you've got one in the gloss and one in the matte. But how cool, I mean, I just love the fact that that was, and when I say inexpensive, I'm going to say it was uber cheap at one of those places that sells lots of homewares. It was like sitting in that I'm really sad, nobody wants me section where everything's like 50p.
What were you doing there?
I wasn't sitting in it.
Okay.
How rude! No.
Say that's why why were you there?
I just saw it and I was like, it was.
Where was that? Was it like B&M or Pound Shop?
I think it was like the Range. I'm sure. No, it was
the Range. Nice.
And so they had a little section, and I don't know why it wasn't selling, but it was in the little section of like 50p or something. And I thought, how cool is that to be able to put whatever sentiment I want to with my vinyl? Oh, this is something special, actually.
Is it a wine box?
It's a wine box holder, and you can actually buy these on the Sweet Factory website.
Oh, amazing! Like the old magnetic Class B.
Remember, this isn't on the show, but it is on the website, and it works beautifully with the vinyl. I love this. This is me all over at Christmas.
Tipsy and bright.
Yeah.
Like that. What's your tipple at Christmas?
Maybe
just Stella.
passion fruit martini.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I do love a passion fruit.
Oh, it feels.
Do you know what we got recent? Oh my goodness!
Oh,
do you
here
know
we go.
what I bought for the Easter like the Easter weekend? We had a big family thing, and I bought a Ninja slushie.
A Ninja?
You know Ninja, the people who make like the air fryers?
Oh, yes, I do. Yeah.
So they've got like Ninja Creamy, which is for ice cream. I bought the Ninja slushie, and it makes slushies, and it makes them well good. And you can put alcohol in.
Right.
So we were like drinking frozen mojitos and frozen margaritas. So that's something I like. But yeah, passion fruit martini.
Sponsored by Ninja.
But they are, yeah. If you want to send me a free one, no, I'm joking. Yep. So the wine bottle, they come flat packed. I think you get 6 in a kit, and they come flat packed, and you just peel off these little pyramids of tape on the side, and it literally pops together, and you can fit. It is for wine bottles, so I have put other spirits in, but like for gin and things like that. But obviously, not all bottles are going to fit into it because it is made for wine bottles. But it works beautifully with the self-adhesive vinyl.
I just think it's really clever, like breathing new life into those things. Or next time you are walking around, as we all do, the Range or Hobbycraft or B&M or anywhere like that when you're shopping, and you think like, that's only like a bit of MDF or like a bit of porcelain or something like that, and you can absolutely personalise it. All those when you buy 20 key rings, like blank key rings, or like
I mean they were just from Amazon, uber cheap.
Yeah. But the beautiful thing is, self-adhesive vinyl then make it look so professional. It could be your whole income if you want to. You haven't got to go to maybe that extreme, maybe you haven't got time to dedicate to it. But if you've got an event coming up, a raffle coming up, a cake sale coming up, a charity thing coming up, or a farmer's market or a craft store, and you want to just try, and I might just try and make and sell something. Self-adhesive vinyl is such an easy way to go, isn't it?
Absolutely. And do you know what's really good? If you are going to do a craft fair, obviously, your die cutting machine or your scan and cut or whatever cutting machine is portable. So you could actually go there, buy a plethora of like inexpensive cups and things like that, because people love having their names on cups. They come over to you, they say, hi, my name is whatever it is.
Hopefully it's Helen.
Yeah, well, whatever their name is. You say, no problem, choose a colour from our array of colours here. You could even have a book of fonts. And then they go, OK, my name is Dan and I want font number B and I'd like it in blue, please. No problem, come back in 10 minutes and you can do it. And of course, you could step up because you're personalising it.
Yep.
Or you've got a website online where you sell products like that, things like that. You can absolutely use this adhesive. And the fact that you're able to offer something which is quite unique, which is the matte vinyl, steps it up even a little bit further. Because I think a lot of people think of vinyl as the gloss, but this is different. And the fact that you can draw on it, so you can see our little jam jar, my little jam jar there full of glitter.
Oh, I'll get that.
It's full of glitter. Please don't eat the glitter.
I was gonna.
But again,
what do you mean?
Being able to write on it means that you could have all your spices written up, you know?
Yeah. Is that a vinyl sticker? Is it you made that?
That's fine. That's the vinyl.
Okay, that's your
So that's just a
drawing on it.
circle that I used with a die.
Someone's been eating it. Look, there's not much left.
Yeah, ew. But like I say, if you're going to draw on your matte vinyl, please remember to use permanent pens because that's what I use. And this is definitely out of date now. Or is that when you put? I think that's when you actually put the date when you were supposed to have jammed it.
I've jammed it.
Jarred it. What's it called?
I've been off jamming.
Jamming.
Yeah.
Jamming. See?
How'd you get that in there? Jamming.
This is not actually a proper jam jar.
Is it not, Helen?
No, because when you do jamming, you have to have those lids that come away.
Have you?
Yes, I believe so.
I thought you meant you had to have that like with the little doily over the top with a plastic band.
Well, you can do that, but I think you have to have those jars that have the lids that pop away. But I could be wrong. I've never jammed or jarred up jam.
Who'd have known?
Yeah, I'm so knowledgeable about it, Dan. And also something like this. I
Ooh,
love
yeah, go on.
this.
I'll just make
This
things
was
fall off.
World Penguin. It was World Penguin,
Penguin
Day the
Day?
other day, and it's just how cute this looks like. I said it's a retro vinyl with a penguin vinyl as well. No one else found that funny? I thought
Yeah.
It's hilarious. It looks like a vinyl, right?
It does.
Looks like a vinyl
Disc.
disc, yeah.
Yeah.
And then, but that's all, and that again shows how. You see?
I
Sorry.
don't really get it.
It looks like a vinyl.
It does.
And the penguin's made out of vinyl.
Oh.
He's a vinyl penguin on a vinyl.
But now I understand.
To be fair, I got that reaction from my mum when I told her.
But we're still.
This is what I was talking
Yes,
about when I
that's why I
said,
grabbed it.
Rebecca, so look how thin the white layer is to the turquoise layer. And I have to say, I could never line those up properly without that silicone trick.
So again,
But imagine if you've got like, sorry, I just talked over you, but imagine this was from, again, am I allowed to say, right? This was from Primark.
Yeah, great.
Super inexpensive. Imagine going there, buying a selection of those and giving these as gifts for your cousins or girlfriends or friends or whatever, who's
Really
being
cool.
your bridesmaids, and you give them that on the day and they drink their wine out of it if they want to, or just juice, whatever, your choice.
Just mainly wine.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Let's be honest.
exactly. Like it's just a hint of, but so many different ideas for the self-adhesive vinyl side of things. Where did I get that from? Right there.
And remember, like I was saying before, there's only a few, like just the Helen was a tiny piece of the vinyl. So you're getting 100 sheets in here that you can play with. You are getting those transfer sheets as well. But think of all the different colours. There are some repeat colours as well because we've got different packs, which is quite exciting. So if there is ones that you really enjoy, you are getting some more of the gold and yellow, some more of the green, the white, the black, the gold, the silver, the apple and the green. You are getting those as repeats because they are in other collections as well. But there is a plethora of colours to work for. You've got shades of yellow, you've got shades of red, green, blue, grey. You've also got your essentials and your metals in here as well. So a lot to play with, a lot to be able to use, but a little bit goes a long, long way.
Absolutely. It can be the largest or the smallest designs, but you can use every single square mil of it, can't you?
Absolutely.
In that theory. Rightio, guys, and where do you get it from? You shop on the website on the screen, sweet-factory.co.uk. Yeah, we'll show you it. This one coming up now. We'll wander back,
and there
Kirkham.
it is. Click on the shop, and that's where you'll see all the products.
That's it there with Helen and
Shop
Dan.
now.
So you shop now, then you scroll on down, and all of that cast that we were just talking about, so the smoky side of things, the green, the botanics, the mochas, infraviolet, etc., they're all there. Those prices you're seeing, by the way, don't have 15% off yet. That's at checkout. Use the code TCS15, and that's where you go shopping. So everybody, this is the website. Just Google it. Sweet Factory Craft. You'll find it that way. It's actually Sweet Factory Arts and Crafts. If you want to go full, you see all the different colours that are in there as well. You also see the other varieties that we haven't got out on set. And of course, when you're not in the craft store section of sweetfactory.co.uk, you can see the rest of the website. So get shopping all at once. But just to highlight the point of these products, at checkout, TCS15, a further 15% off. Just pop that down, Helen.
I don't even know what that was.
Was it not your drink?
Oh no, it was my glasses case frame.
Oh
And all my
no!
strips of
Oh
paper.
no! Disaster.
No, it wasn't my bottle, but did you hear me drinking? I realised my mic could have been on and I went glop.
No, I didn't. I thought we should leave those, by the way. Okay. There you go, everybody. You can see right there what we're talking about. It says £90. It will be £76.50 if you use the code TCS15. Okie dokie. We've got time. We've got 20 odd minutes.
Perfect. So I'm going to just show you how I did this, but I've got all these pieces pre-cut already. So I went with my little lady here on the scan and cut. Now, technically, she is for embroidery, but again, the machine doesn't tell you what you want to cut it out of. But I want to show you how I created this. So I've got my little lady and I want to take all her parts here. So she's all grouped together. And this is how I did it. So if we can see, this is the green part, and then I haven't welded the purple or the pink part yet. But all the parts I separated into what I needed to cut out. But before I did that, I duplicated her.
You keep doing that. I'm going to move the camera.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I duplicated her to have two, like so. One over here to mess around with cutting the different colours that I needed, so I ungrouped her and cut all those pieces individually. But what I also wanted to do was give her a little outline. And so in order to do that, I'm going to take the second one here. I'm going to turn this button off. When a button on the scan and cut is blue, it's active. When it's not blue at that time, it's not doing anything. So what you'll see is as soon as I press that, she then becomes lots and lots of different squares, and this is no longer blue. I then welded her together to create a silhouette. That's why I kept this spare over here, because I still wanted to play with her as the individual pieces. And then I went to this one here and I created an outside edge, which will be exactly perfect for lining up my pieces like so. Okay, right. So I've got my outside edge here. And then what we're going to do is we're going to build her up and we're going to put her on the little pot. So first of all, before I do that, I'm going to weld my pieces. So again, you can see, I'll be honest, I'm not very good at being precious with my vinyl, but please, I could have cut that top off and the bottom, so please do that with yours. Yeah. But if you find that you've peeled it off, as I said before, you can always just paste it back on the backing when you're finished and reuse it. So there we go.
Are all of these colours we're using now from the 100
Absolutely.
kit, do you think?
So you've got the, I believe actually that all of these are in the Harlequin pack. Okay. I believe so. I could be mistaken about the green, but there we go. And then what we're going to do is we're going to build up our little lady. First of all, what did I do with my scissors? Because I want to cut my piece here.
Oh, my scissors.
Give me just 2 seconds, Dan. Oh, here they are. So we're just going to cut this down a little bit smaller. Because I don't need the whole of it. Okay. And we're going to build up.
And these are those extra sheets. There's 5 extra sheets. This is what they are.
So you get 5 sheets on their own, and then you get 2 sheets in the essential pack. Okay. So first things first.
So without these sheets, you're sort of picking them up and placing them by hand, right?
Yes.
And trying not to damage them and trying not to...
Well, it's more, do you know, you'd be absolutely fine picking them up by hand because it would create a sticker, but it's the idea of helping you it's literally called transfer tape because it helps you transfer it from one place to another, and that is simply what it does. So you don't have to take, you can see here, I'm doing it because I'm making it easier for me to build up. You don't have to take each piece, you know, as it is. You don't have to take the whole sheet. I just took the little shoe there. I
think it makes it so much easier to be able to, especially if you're not quite as good with your hands as you once were, or as steady with your hands as you once were.
And it just makes it easier because we've done that border. So being able to line up individually like so, because as I said, like you've just said, you know, you might not be great at with your hands anymore, but also it means that you can build this layered image up. Even though I've got the pieces cut all on different pages.
It's interesting you bought that little blue ribbon and popped it on the hat first. I guess you can then transfer both of them. Absolutely,
exactly what I'm going to do. Transfer them together. See, that just needs a little bit of burnishing down, and I knew that, and I was able to place the transfer tape back down. I mean, look at that, it's beautiful. Again,
I know it's going to go on the sort of, not a watering can, is it?
No, a little plant pot.
Or hook onto the wall, or hook onto something else. But actually, it could be onto an actual plant pot, couldn't it? It could be onto a porcelain, could be onto glass, could be onto mirror, could be onto tile, could be onto cardstock, onto your paper, plastic bottles and things, paper bags. This is the advantage that you haven't got to add extra adhesive. It's already done for you. But that adhesive does not bother or gunk up or anything like that. your die cutting machines or your scan and cut or your knives.
Yeah.
It's really clever little formula that Sweet Factory are bringing us today, isn't it?
And look, I mean, I love the fact that something that is teeny, I mean, what is that? That's not even, it's like, what, a millimetre or something. It's teeny tiny, but because I've got the transfer tape, there's absolutely no worry that I'm going to lose it, you know, that it's going to disappear and I'm going to be, oh, I don't have the centre to my... I mean, look how, it's very easy. It looks like it should take a while, but if you just take a moment building it up, it's very simple and easy. And then finally, a little hand. So there we go. Now, I don't think, not sure that's quite big enough. We can use it though, because the sticker is one solid one now, so it'll be fine.
Okay. What? We're doing some yoga or Pilates right now, are we? Oh no.
So it doesn't move?
Thought you brought your roller with us.
Roller?
Yeah.
What's a roller?
Looks like an implement you'd stretch your muscles on in the gym or something.
Oh, I see. Yeah, I don't go to the gym.
There's nothing left there. You're using it. You're using it all in the craft room. Here it all is.
So we're just going to lay this down, and again, this is. Do you see? I don't know if you can see, but there's a ridge.
Yep.
And it's just sort of just touching the ridge, but because it's self-adhesive, it absolutely doesn't matter because it's just going to follow the curvation of the pot. And again, remember to save those because all these little bits.
Yep.
What I do actually is I have like a page of A4, I have like a slice of it, I have little pieces like this, and I kind of store them because sometimes you don't want to peel off the whole transfer tape just for something tiny. So having those little pieces is really good. And then there we go. There is one up there, you can see.
I thought I'd bring this down as well because maybe I'm wrong, but I bet you made these flowers.
I did make those flowers, not on the scan and cut. That was by hand. I cut them by hand. But absolutely, I made these for a project a few years ago. Is it crepe paper or? It is crepe paper. Just 2 sheets of crepe paper for each flower. Cut it into a shape, twist it inside itself so it becomes bulbous, and then gluing the 2 sides together. So it's literally 2 pieces glued together. Nice. Thanks.
Now again, this could have had initials on it, could have said Helen or whoever, couldn't it? But the little lady there, such beautiful
super cute, isn't
imagery. Again, that is a shape, I guess, from the scan and cut.
Absolutely.
Using your self-adhesive vinyl. How else would you be doing it? Paper, cardstock, think of all the layers of glue that you're doing. And it's like the perfect, like it's a real true colour, isn't it?
Yeah, I just absolutely love that purple or the violet with the green. I think both of those make them pop, and that's what shows you, even though when you get your compilation, you're going to have your packs in different orders, they're going to be shades and things like that, but all of these will work beautifully together. And I think as well, if you're creating something, particularly on a paler colour product, putting that white behind it just separates it and makes it really pop from the thing. So having white is really useful in that way.
Now, we've been really lucky having a 2-hour show. There's all sorts of talk about how we're going to break this up. Just do one all on cardstock, one all on vinyl. I hope you like that we've mixed it up, haven't we?
Yeah, absolutely.
And all together. Should we finish on cardstock? We've got 15 minutes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Shall we? You wander over there and get ready.
Okay.
I'll step forward like this. Hi, guys. So all the products we were talking about that you can be using are all on... Taz, can we show the website again? Thank you, mate. sweet-factory.co.uk. When you go on there, if you're on Google or something, just put Sweet Factory Craft or Arts and Craft. You'll find it. If you're going straight into your search and doing it proper, www.factory. Here it comes. Sweet-Factory. On the homepage, you will see the craft store with Helen and Dan. Click on next to there where it says TCS 15, shop here. That's where you find all of the products on this show. All of these products, and there's much, if you just joined us, by the way, haven't even spoken about all the different cardstocks, GSMs, different quantities we've got on the show. All of those can get a further 15% off using the code TCS15, which are hugely. We thank Sweet Factory for that because it was completely under their own steam. They did not have to do that whatsoever, but they've chosen to do so. So thank you, Bradley. Thank you, team, for doing that. And to say thank you, you shop direct. You have a look around the website, but particularly to get hold of all of the vinyl like you're seeing right now, 100 sheets for $76.50 because we are trusting you're going to use that code TCS15. Whether you shop after the hour, shop tonight, go back on that website tomorrow, use that code because that will last till the end of play Sunday. But we're talking about all vinyls. You also saw there as Taz was having a ping around. Lots of different cardstock on the show, right? So are you combining vinyl and card, or what are you doing for potentially the last demo?
Yeah, I thought I would do a bit of the two together. So first of all, what we're going to do is I've got some of that bone china, and I'm going to send it through my die cutting machine with an embossing folder. So let me just do that.
Off I wonder.
I love as well when you've got vinyl. When you cut it a lot, you know, working it into your card making is a really great idea, because I think when people think about vinyl, they purely just think about putting it on products like I did with the pot, you know, thinking about putting on frames or maybe, but no one ever really thinks about the idea that absolutely you can put it straight onto paper.
Yeah.
And also, you know, some of the cards that I've created over there as well have gone straight onto paper. And they have, I don't mean those ones, so they've gone right over the other side. What I've done is I've cut the vinyl, I've put it onto the paper, so there's one on the left-hand side in a pink card, and and then one the other side that's got there, so the True Love with the roses, and then further over the one that Dan's holding with the heart. Those were both vinyl cuts, one on the scan and cut, one with a die, and then I've used them as a resist and coloured them in with alcohol markers. So start thinking as well.
Look
using
how delicate
those.
that is.
That's
vinyl?
cool, yeah.
Wow.
Now, can I say that is cut with the vinyl blade, because look at those delicate pieces.
But you can.
I just said delicate funny as well, I realised.
Delicate.
Delicate. Oh, funny. Right, so what we're going to do is we're just going to bring this a little bit more. So it looks really pretty in the white, but I just want to bring it alive a little bit more. So. Oh, listen to that beautiful sound as well. Can you hear that?
Is this the what you may have already said? Is this the white card, the best white?
This is the bone china.
Ah, the bone china, 75 sheets.
Yep. And so you'll see it holds that emboss really beautifully, but also it takes that ink as well. So, and then what we're going to do is we're just going to build up our card. So there we go. We've just added a little bit of extra Distress Oxide to that, just to make that kind of shine a little bit more. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take some other elements with the vinyl. Now, this is something that's real special because sometimes when you put tiny thin things like this leaf onto, oh, where's my little bin? Sometimes when you put this tiny little leaf on something like parchment, it can be quite tricky because obviously...
Do you think it looks a bit like coffee beans as well? No?
What looks like coffee beans?
The shape you're...
Oh, yeah, I suppose so, yeah,
maybe
a little bit.
Maybe it's the colour.
Yeah, maybe it's the colour as well that's kind of making your mind think that way. But the idea is that putting something like a thin, delicate card...
Yep.
I mean, it's very thin, so it's even holding on to the vinyl a bit, so I'm having to be a little bit more careful. But first, we just talk about how beautiful that came away.
Yeah, you're like, yes.
Other than that tiny little snagging at the top, that was so stunning. But trying to put this, if it was card onto there, might mean that you would splurge out. But what we're going to do is we're going to use our little trick.
Are you?
Yes, we're going to use our silicone, and then we don't have to worry about adding any glue, because the glue is already built into the vinyl.
It's a very clever little trick if you've ever tried to transfer stuff but aren't quite steady or trust yourself, or it's just a really thin design. So again, is that a baking sheet?
So it's silicone paper that
silicone
we have
paper,
on
sorry.
the... I mean, you might be able to use baking.
I don't know, maybe.
I don't know. I've not tried it myself, but you'll see that you can kind of see underneath. Just pop that one, the bit that's sort of not touched by the silicone paper. Pull that away. Boom.
Nailed it. Jackpot.
And then, so what I'm saying is, now, this is the one thing, just be careful as you're pulling this away, because obviously that's parchment paper and it's quite delicate. If I had tried to do that, I'm not saying that everybody is like me, obviously, but if I tried to do that very thin leaf, I'd probably have squidged the glue out the side, and it may have messed up the thing. So being able to put that vinyl straight onto parchment, which is a quite thin, very thin in fact, means that I don't have to worry about that. And then what I've also done, she says, but oh no, I've lost it.
Still in there?
Oh no. Where did my little happy birthday go?
Oh.
Oh, Dan, I had happy birthday. Oh, here it is. It got
Phew.
caught on my ink thing. So we're going to do this as well, because as I was saying, How much time have we got? Are we all right?
Yeah, 7 minutes.
Okay, cool. So as I was saying, when it comes to using a sentiment, absolutely, why not use a sentiment made out of vinyl, especially if it's nice and thin like this.
Now,
yes.
They almost look like individual shapes. So there's some joined up letters.
Yeah.
But otherwise, you'd be picking up letter by letter, wouldn't you?
Yes.
And then putting them in the right place would be real hard work.
Absolutely, but because I've done this in vinyl,
Yeah.
and can I just say, I love when I'm able to get all the tiny little pieces out in one go. It makes me very happy. What have I done? So we go like that, we pick it up. And what I've done is I've taken a oval die.
Yep.
And this is my bone china and my mocha. And I'm just going to put it straight on there because it will stick to that card. And what we've got is actually what you've got is a bit of mixed media.
There we
go.
go.
You're using different mediums. Oh, just make sure it burnishes down. If you find that you've burnished it down and it's still not coming away from the transfer, close the transfer back up and just burnish it again because you don't want to peel that off. And then what we can do is we can build our card. So this is what we will be doing. Cute, right?
So I love bringing this in with your other tools. It could be with other dies. It could be like embossing folders, layering stencils, whatever you fancy doing. Your vinyl is just another way of adding colour, right? Or like a cardstock, like an ink. But it is self-adhesive, and even the smallest, thinnest cuts on your scan and cut, or like with the Happy Birthday there, doesn't matter, and it makes it so easier to place for your placement, to make things as professional as possible, particularly if you're making and selling, particularly if you've taken time to make it, which of course you have.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think sometimes, you know, sentiments are the last thing you put on a card. That's usually, well, not always, but usually someone puts the sentiment on last. And imagine you splodge the glue out and you just think, oh no, it's ruined the card. I mean, it hasn't. You can find a way around it. But I just think being able to do sentiments with vinyl and introducing that into your card making is a great idea. I mean, you've got the vinyl. Why not introduce it into your card making? You can cross-pollinate with the beautiful card and the vinyl together. I'm going to just pop that down. And then what I'm going to do, because I've got the line, I'm just going to follow the line of the vinyl and not then have to worry about it splurging out. Just hold that down for a second while it grabs. Oh, too quick.
Another second or two.
I think possibly I didn't put enough glue on. I was being so delicate with it. There we go. And then what we're going to do is so remember we're using that bone china, which is embossed and then inked up. And then I'm using that mocha as the matten layer. Can I also say, if you want to, you don't have to, and it's not really something I do often, but you can always take the middle out if you're using it as a matten layer.
Yes, you could if you want to.
You want to make as much of it as possible. And then we'll just place this down, like so. Let that grab. Now I've noticed that my embossing folder just needs a little bit more glue there, so I can do that no problem. So there we've got our bone china with that, that took that embossing folder and the ink. We've then gone with that mocha for the border, and that's cut with a die and then a trimmer. We've got Happy Birthday with that gorgeous one that's in the dark red collection in the compilation, and use that dark red with the leaves as well. Now, the only thing I added to this that you're not going to get on our show is a card blank. You could have used one of our bone china or something as a card blank, and obviously I added that piece of vellum. But yeah, super and easy, and I love the fact, it's a simple card, it is, but I love the fact that you're able to cross-pollinate by using the card and that vinyl together.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
So different. Like Helen, by the way, everyone at home, it's not easy to prep for like 1 live hour of telly, let alone 2 hours.
Do you want to know how many demos I prepped?
Let alone 2 different. How many?
12.
How many do we get through?
I don't know how many got through, but I've got a bunch sitting here and a bunch sitting there. So you may well, in the next week or so, see some of these demos done with these fair hands on the Sweet Factory Instagram, because obviously I've prepped them.
Well, thank you so much. You clearly love your die cutting. I know you love your scanning cut as well. And just having you working alongside Sweet Factory just brings out your creativity, because really possibilities are endless, aren't they? Considering the different mediums, different surfaces, different sizes, making the like, little challenge to yourself, make the craft store.
Absolutely.
It looks so cool. So well done. Congratulations.
Thank you
For making the effort.
I really appreciate that. But when I get to craft with such amazing products, and the thing is, I think that the people that follow me particularly know that I love using the scan and cut, whether it be for the card or the vinyl. But I will always tell you what I love, and I do really, really love the card and their vinyl. And I mean, the card is gorgeous, but can I just say, with the Sweet Factory vinyl, this is something I use whether I'm working with them or I'm making presents and gifts for friends and things like that. It's a really good quality, and having it as that matte means that that's something quite unique to the Sweet Factory. I mean, I personally have never seen it with other companies. That it might be out there, I'm not saying it's not, but I've never personally seen it. So having that matte is really wonderful. And remember, keep it in that Western box so it's nice and flat when you want to use it. You have that for you. You could even take all the pipette packs apart, and I do what I do when I store mine is I actually put it in rainbow colour, so that if I know what colour I'm going for, I know I have to go halfway down if I'm going for a green, or up the top if it's red, things like that. So you can always organise it however you want to when it arrives. But really, just think about the different possibilities that you can be crafting, because this die cuts beautifully. This obviously works with your electronic cutting machine, and I really do say to everyone, give it a go, cutting a sentiment and using it on the cards you're already creating. It will be wonderful.
Very cool. Helen, come join me over here.
Okay.
Right, dash around. She's got a long way to run. I've only got to literally walk a metre.
Yeah, I've got to walk. Did anyone notice my my T-shirt as well?
I think we all have.
I'm a massive fan of what's on my T-shirt and my Crocs.
Do you want to hold a crock up?
I hold a Croc up. They're a bit dirty. It's Kermit.
Kermit the Croc.
Kermit
Sorry,
the
Croc.
Croc. That's amazing.
Yeah?
That's so
She
funny.
needs to be pleased. That's the main thing. Kermit the Croc.
Why are there so many songs about rainbows?
You were going to save it for the show, and here we are. We've just got it in. It's been an hour and a half, more so, nearly 2 hours. Anyway, so we're out of time for demonstrations. Kirkham, I'd love to get you back in the studio as soon as possible.
Yeah,
I know,
wonderful.
I know you're all
Really
doing other
fun.
bits and bobs for other people, bits and bobs. Remind us how we keep up with you personally on your crafty journey.
Yeah, so you can find me on Facebook and Instagram as Helen Kirkham Crafts. And then if you are...
Keep talking. Just talking to mine. Your mic's gone.
If you are looking for me on YouTube, it's Helen Kirkham Crafts 1. But also, if you want vinyl and card content, we post every day on the Sweet Factory Instagram page. Please go over there and follow. There's a link to the website as well. But remember, if you are shopping any of these gorgeous products, do not forget to use TCS15 to get 15% off all these great products.
Marvellous. Helen, thank you. Thank you for watching. We are live next Thursday, but much more in the days in between. We will see you there on Thursday. But now it's time to shop with Sweet Factory.